Hi, everyone. Hey, Keith. Good evening. Oh, no, I lost my straw. I hope everyone's having a good Friday evening. I literally just got off work and got here about an hour ago. Now I'm with you guys. No better way to spend my Friday night than talking freeing Richard Allen.
Hell yeah.
My faves. How are you, Keith?
Good. Sorry, I was almost late. I got pulled over by Nathan Lamar. It was a whole thing, but other than that, we're good to go.
Who's Nathan Lamar?
Oh, he's a very fine Delphi police officer. Was.
Oh.
No, it's a whole joke behind.
Yeah, I don't be knowing
bad one.
I don't be knowing all the lore, so
I don't. I. It's so funny because like I used to be like that. Like I'm like, listen. You know, if Daniel Pearson and Shelby Hicks did what they did, then that's their business. And then you realize, like, maybe there's a little bit more into it, and then, you know, this, that, and the other. Anyways, but yeah, well, we're doing good. We're here to vitiate the state's case, right?
Vitiate.
Yeah. Word of the day.
Oh, guys, I have been, like, out of the loop with true crime over these last couple of weeks. Rest in peace, my Twitter feed. Sorry, you guys, right now you're dealing with a shitstorm of reality TV news. Like scandals, reality TV, like explosions going on. So my Twitter feed right now, instead of me like being more like true crime focused at all, it's just like, oh my God, Summer House! And if you guys don't watch Summer House, you gotta. Some shit is going damn.
I didn't know so much went into it until I met you because I just didn't really pay attention to it. But you know, between reality TV and true crime, it's crazy how quickly those two can be intermingled.
Right? Oh, for sure, and often are. And if you notice, there are like other channel creators that are like a mix of true crime and pop culture. And honestly, I think that might be the direction I head in. Because there's just some shit I need. I'm like to talk about what I know, and what I know is murder and reality TV. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I think what's her name? Cece Suarez. She kind of does that a little bit.
Oh yeah. Or like Lauren Conlon.
Yeah, Conlon does a really good job with that.
Everyone loves Lauren Conlon.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, everyone in chat. Hi, woman. Hi, Skin.
Hi, Mom.
Skin says, gotta admit, Bugs, I've had no clue about what you've been talking about, but I've enjoyed it. LOL. It's so funny. Oh, God. Hi, Laura. Hey, Classic. Hey, Amanda. Hey, E Prime. Belly. Belly, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. All Eyes, what up? All I said, I never know what Shabug's tweets are about, but I like them anyway because I just love how into it she is, dude.
True. I think I do that a lot too. Like I have no idea what the context of the conversation is, but like someone I know and trust said some funny ass shit, and I'm gonna like it. Like
it's like I'm a dog with a bone, man. Once I get my
yeah. I won't out the person, but someone DM'd me today after I liked one of their tweets, and they're like, I thought that was a really good one. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I liked it.
How funny, how cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. I feel like I know who would have said that.
They're great. It's the same person we're thinking of. We love them.
You know, my connection to reality TV goes like deeper than you guys even realize. Like, I have been on Twitter since 2008. We'll get there, guys. We'll get to the brief reply that everyone and their mother has read through. I was so into reality TV and on Twitter like back in the day. And so like I've been using Twitter to talk about reality shows, mostly the show on MTV called The Challenge. And so that was like my hyper focus on my Twitter, and I would like tag people on the show and talk shit or like defend the people I liked, all that shit. I actually built a friendship with one of the girls on the show, and started talking to her off and on all the time, and ended up like heading out to meet her a few times and like meeting other people from the show and shit. Like my hyper fixations go in deep. But then you know what happened? Then Rick Allen's fucking trial came to be, and I said I need to like focus on something that matters and like have my hyper fixations be on things that can actually help other people and not just like talking shit about people on reality TV.
Yeah, I similar story. I was in Indianapolis at the time everything broke about the girls going missing, and I was like, I think I was in a Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was watching like I think I was watching a basketball game or something, and I was in a part of my life where I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could like move here and like start a life. It's not so bad. The people here are cool so far. And then I type in like crime Indiana, and then like the first thing that pops up is like, have you seen this man? It was like Bridge Guy. I was like, what the? And you read the story, you're like, what the hell? So it's like really interesting how people learn to like get into this. It's just,
I was literally on the internet. I used to, back in the day, especially 2017. Oh, I had a 2-year-old, so I definitely spent a lot of time when I wasn't with baby, just like on the phone looking up true crime and stuff, or like on my computer a lot looking at true crime. And so when they went missing, I remember I was like on a forum or something. And so like literally after they were reported missing and it was hitting the news, that's when I started following the case. But when it became like 2 years later and nothing was going on, I just totally dropped it. And then I came back in when he got arrested, when Richard Allen was arrested. I'm like, oh, finally, like, I guess maybe they got the guy, whatever. And I just kind of believed it. And I remember me and my mom having this really visceral reaction to seeing Richard Allen after he had been detained for some time and seeing how emaciated he was. And we were just like, what the fuck? And to be honest, my reaction then, before getting into the lack of evidence and seeing very plainly right away that he wasn't the killer, before that, and not knowing anything and seeing his emaciated appearance and stuff, my ignorant brain thought, oh, well, he must be crazy, and that's just how that confirmation bias works in your brain
Yeah.
sometimes. You know, it's crazy to say that now that I saw him like that, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, that just proves he's fucking crazy, so he must be the guy. When really it's like, no, that proves he was mentally broken
Yeah.
and
Right.
suffering like crazy. Two very different things that you
Right.
could interpret one fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the whole case.
Yeah, I think there are very, very few people who are being honest when if they were to say like, "Oh, I knew he was innocent the whole time." I think you put your full faith and trust into the system working the right way that it does, and when you start to see things, you question things. I think it would be lost on anyone not to say that this case taught them a lot about their worldview and how to look at like not just policing and investigations, but the court system, everything that happened after the fact, even the Department of Corrections. If you haven't been exposed to that, like there's a lot of crazy shit that goes on in these prison systems. And, some of it is like the ends justify the means, and other things is like, hold on, we're doing this to a human being. No matter what they did, we're doing this to another human being. Right. That's crazy. So yeah, did you ever watch like Real World back in the day?
Yeah.
I'm old.
The challenge was basically the cast from the Real World, and back when Road Rules was still a thing.
Yeah, Real World.
Yeah. So they would take casts from both. So the girl I actually became friends with, she was on Real World Vegas, the more recent Vegas. Her name was Kayla Amanda. Shout out Amanda.
Yeah.
My girl in here, she knows my shows. And you know what, I have quite a few of fellow cranks who follow my trash reality TV as well, so shout out.
I love it. I the other thing, and like we'll touch on this real quick and then we'll leave it alone. I will reply to people who make political posts, and then I will go down into the thread and I will see that you also replied before I even see it like in my thread, so that's also fun there too. My favorite reality TV show of all time is a show on MTV. It's called Jackass. Oh. That's my favorite. That's actually reality TV, by the way.
No, it is. It is. It's performative as fuck. Literally, the whole thing is performing.
Yeah.
No, I hated Jackass, but only because back when Jackass was going on, like that was as I was growing up. I was a teenager, and all the guys loved Jackass, and it was all they wanted to watch, and it just drove me insane. Yeah,
it was targeted to suburban dumbass white kids like me, where you look at that and you go, that's awesome, and then they put a disclaimer like, don't reenact this, knowing damn well we're gonna go out there and get on BMX bikes and try to joust, but yeah, honestly, like back in the day, back at that time that it was out, if you were a girl and you were like really, really into it, I'd kind of be suspicious. Like, okay, are you doing okay up there? Or like, and this is teenage Keith. I'm not talking about like me now, right? I'd probably be like, you just have a crush on like one of them, because when you're a teenage boy, you're a complete idiot. But yeah, it's yeah, Travis, hold my beer and watch this. Absolutely. Yep.
Oh my gosh. So, Keith, I wanted to give you an opportunity. If you had anything you wanted to share or talk about tonight before we get started on the appeal of it all, if there was anything you needed to address, any Erica Norse complaints, any let's just knock it out of the park.
No, I'll find my battle on. I didn't have time. I was going to ask for a link in Snays Live the other night because I was like, you know what, I got a lot to fucking say, and I think that'd be a really good place to go. No, I will leave it be right now. Listen, here's the thing. This is about to be the second time that they're gonna, or third time, because got Meehan wrong, got All Eyes wrong, and it's about to be me, and it's gonna be hilarious. I'm really excited to see who they picked out. That they think is me. It's hilarious.
Oh, are they about to do a reveal?
I think so. That's what we're being told. But yet again, we were promised 1,000 hours and we never got it. So I'm still owed that.
I don't watch any of their shit. The only thing I've literally watched, the only thing I've watched was just recently I skimmed through what our live stream parts were in KKK
Yeah,
Christina's video.
yeah,
And like, by the way, like I'm sure she's gonna use us again. So do I look good?
yeah. You look great. Yeah, you look great.
Awesome. Hey girl. So I'm glad I could provide material to the losers who also want to copyright strike me.
Yeah, well, I absolutely love that Allie came out in your defense. I think that was, you know, and I kind of realized maybe I was stepping on a little bit toes there because I didn't want it to look like I was trying to like, you know, be a little bit on the edgy side with you, but I genuinely wanted to know what they thought because, you know, you and I were threatened. I know it's your channel, but you and I were threatened that if we ever, you know, use that material again, she's got people that she can call to get stuff taken down. I said, well, let me ask. You know, why not? Bob's pretty responsive. Allie's very gracious about things. You know, let me ask, and we got our answer, and it was very interesting.
I was surprised by Ali's response, and like pleasantly surprised. Like I was very flattered that she would care enough to back me up like that.
Yeah, and listen, they can call me gay, they could call me fat, they can call me alcoholic, they can call me a wife beater, they can call me CJ. You know what they haven't called me? Wrong. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
We say they're wrong all the time.
And yeah, no, the only woman I'd ever beat is Prof. So you know,
we love the Manas. Yeah, just to shout them out in general. They just hit 65K subscribers over the Defense Diaries.
I say this as a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
To elaborate more on what.
Oh yeah, on what?
On what specifically?
I'll say this while we're waiting for her. As a junior YouTuber co-host I'm terrible at this. I thought Bob was the best presentation of himself that last, you know, when they did the debate where Michael acted as a state and Andrea, I thought he like did that whole thing really well. I thought that was great. And I would love to see actually like more. We should do more of that. I would love to see them do stuff like that, like pre-trial when we're waiting for a trial to start for something.
Yeah, I would love to do like debates with like us, like just a regular Joe Schmoes, you know?
Yeah.
It would be fun. Like we don't know all the legal jargon, but just like from a regular person perspective.
Yeah. Know? Oh, okay. So woman, there's I mean it's your typical Prof beef. It's, you know, I'm probably no longer a crank because I violated the blackout. But no. I addressed a couple things that were being said, and you know, Ku Klux Christina has an obsession with me because I what else do you want to say? She's an idiot. Like I don't know how else to say it. And you know, Prof stepped in and white knighted it, and then he fucked around and found out, and he got super triggered, and then all of a sudden he started calling me all different types of names that I just don't care about. Like I just don't care. You know what I mean? It's like when you attack the premise of something and you say, "Hey, this is fucking stupid," and the response is like, "Oh well, I can't believe you're so mean. Wouldn't you want the community to be successful?" Like, first of all, you're not the same community as us. Like, people aren't sitting around making shit up. They're actually it's being validated with the documents that we have, the material that we have. We're not taking advantage of someone relapsing and sending them back into jail to find out the answer that everyone knows. Guess what? People do bad things. Groundbreaking fucking news. And then you've got. I'm gonna get on this rant. You've got Erica doing a live where, and thank God she had Christine on that live with her because she's going back and forth, saying that Clint heard all of this stuff, but then they didn't violate any NDAs. But Clint heard it. He was in the other room, and they were talking in code, but he knew the code, and then he was in the car with them, and then he knows for a fact that the defense could have done so much more for Rick, but he doesn't know enough to violate an NDA. Like, where are we at with this?
Wait, Clint's talking about Rick's case now?
Yeah, he was on with Erica and Christine the other night.
Are you kidding me? When I say I don't listen to these people, I really don't.
And it was such a shit show. And the other thing I'll say is like then you want to say that you've you saying that you solved the case was a setup for the state because you have a RICO case on Nicholas fucking McClellan.
Wait. Now she's saying she didn't solve the case and that was just all a ploy?
No. Here's the thing. And this is like, go back because you'll absolutely see Rudy Giuliani come out and announce that he has RICO statute cases against the Lucchese fucking crime family before an arrest is even made, or before a trial is even had, or before a deal is even proffered. You'll see all that. Rudy Giuliani was that smart that he would come out and announce that he's got evidence against people who could very well be killed instantaneously.
I truly have no fucking clue what you're talking about right now either.
I don't even know what they're talking about. They're claiming they have a RICO case because McClellan misappropriated a bunch of funds during the trial. I literally, this is my reality TV, Spugs. Watching them is my reality TV because I literally sit there and I go, what the fuck is this? What is this?
But you're being so like, you're so subtly funny sometimes that like I don't know what's real and what's not.
Well, okay, yeah, and I'm not yeah. That's something I got to work on. I get that, but it just listen. I think that if any of you wonder why I focus on that a lot, it's not necessarily because it's fun, but I think that just as much as we should be scrutinizing the state investigators in this case, we absolutely should be questioning the defense investigators in this case. And that's what I've been asking for a long time now, which is, what did you even do? What was worked on?
They helped.
Right.
They got an assignment and they helped.
I know.
They got a bunch of tips and they got an NDA to sign to shut their mouths on the tips or whatever they'd find.
Okay, people are still asking questions. Erica, pretty much Erica. I don't want to say Christine is because she doesn't say that, but she doesn't like also correct Erica. They're claiming that they have a RICO case that is going to solve Delphi and free Richard Allen. These are her words. If you don't believe me, her channel's there. I don't know if you guys remember on Twitter, Delphi Docs was joking around about how we had known for a long time about David Diener and Stacy Diener and the Diener family. That is kind of like the part that goes into it. It's all regurgitated content. It's all stuff that's been established. Right?
It's almost like they're just trying to get shit to talk about because they're trying to make money off this shit.
Yes, and it's everything that's already been pulled, whether it came from a separate source or Ausbrook or whomever else. It's all been out there, and whomever else is what? Gritty and someone else, and then you have like
British.
and then you have her reaching out, extending an olive branch to COPSA and to Amy.
What is that? Can someone explain that part to me? What is that about? What? So
that's Erica. That's Erica trying to cross.
What is she on? What is she taking?
That's her trying to cross bridges that Prof already burned.
What?
That's exactly what that is.
What would they want to do with them, Andy and Amy? What's the plan there? Apparently,
Mastermind Ausbrook has been manipulating them, right? Which is just, again, this is, if you don't believe what's coming out of my mouth right now, go look at the videos. Go look at the video. Look at Ku Klux Christina's video and tell me that isn't the funniest thing in the fucking world. That, first of all, Bugs, you know how much how much I annoy Bob Mata, right? Like, you personally know how much I do. And the video is set up to where it's like almost like it's like Ausbrook, Mata, and then like me, and we're all on the same like communication cadence. And it's like, no, I'm probably just hearing something that they said and I'm repeating it because I don't know if you guys can imagine that, like, sometimes some people say things and you agree with it and you use the same or similar words. So if I say, I feel Richard Allen was wrongfully convicted, and someone else says, I feel Richard Allen was wrongfully convicted, now all of a sudden it's a coordinated PR campaign. It's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen claimed about me in my life.
I was actually I went into the comments on KKK Christina's shit, and I was actually surprised by how many people I thought I've corresponded with in casual happenstance, and they're like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't. None of it does. None of it makes sense. Stop.
Their heads are gonna fucking explode when they realize that a Yoder is running the Hoosier Harvest store now. Holy shit. Crazy.
But did you hear about Diener? Did you hear about Diener and Meehan?
Anyways, listen, I don't care. Prof to me is like that old man in your neighborhood where you go and you light a bag of shit on his front porch and he stomps on it and yells, "Get off my lawn!" That's exactly what he's nothing more than that. So it's fun to fuck with him. It's fun to rage bait him. All he ever does is get mad. You can call me an alcoholic all you want, but guess what? I can handle my stuff. I don't take a couple sips of Malbec and start calling people slurs like you do. So let's chill. Done. Yes, depose Dean or free Ricky Bay. Absolutely.
I don't like to have fun with that person because there's something genuinely wrong there. That's all I'm saying.
But hey, you invited me to, so I'm
happy to. I'm happy to because I don't want to dedicate hella time to these people, but might as well talk about it when we get the chance. I suppose, since they're going to be watching all of my content and clipping me anyway.
I hold the opinion that they are just absolutely full of shit, and I think it's a desperation on Erica's part to try to reach out to Amy and Kopsa, and by the way, what? Kopsa's been releasing a lot of stuff. Well, not a lot of stuff, but she's released a couple things that are really important, like the Turco interview, the Odin report. I don't want to say she's released it. It's kind of come through her in a vehicle. So if they can make up their mind. The other thing, the funny thing on Ku Klux Christina's little short is that they are now saying, if Michael Ausbrook has all these things he wants to say, why isn't he doing it on his own YouTube channel? And I think that's the funniest thing.
Because he genuinely wants to help Rick Allen, and it's not about having a YouTube channel and making money and monetizing off this. Who would have thunk it?
I know.
Who would have thunk it?
The irony that there was concern with his social media presence and that he was trying to get access to Discovery for his own YouTube channel, which were the allegations that were being made a long time ago by those fucking morons. It's just all of this is hilarious. Particularly not the spirit of it behind the behavior, but just the behavior itself, right? It's really sad that Abby and Libby are gone. It's really sad that Richard Allen's in prison. It's really sad everything that happened along the way. The comedic relief are these fucking people.
That's true.
That's where it's hilarious to me.
It can be fun. It can't be fun, but then it doesn't stop, and it's just I'm just tired, and that's really what the blackout, since we're addressing it, that's really what the blackout is about. It's we are just so sick of it, and we notice when we don't say anything at all, then they don't have anything to talk about. But now, just recently, they're ratcheting it up out of nowhere, and we haven't said anything. So, I mean, you can't win.
Yeah, I think
hi, Susie. Hi, girl.
I think I step over the line every now and then. I do. I think there is value in when people like Amy G get on a live and say she believes Richard Allen's innocent, but she also believes that Richard Allen believes that he parked at the CPS building. That's problematic. That's something that I would hope that one of us, if not just me, raises her hand and says, hey, that's not, what the fuck is that? What is that? Right. Or what's the other one she made? Because I'm being accused now of like completely running her off the platform.
Oh yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is the grand conspiracy of Keith now?
Of me?
Yeah, what's their problem with you? What are you doing?
There's so many things. I'm apparently a Freemason out of Alabama.
Oh, nice.
Which if you hear the sound of my voice is also hilarious.
Oh, that's because that's where she's from. Christina, I didn't forget about you. Girl, Christina, we still know who you are. I
think we've said that before. You might not know who we are, but we know who you are. And again, I know the rules. I didn't come here to try to like ruin people's lives or like go to their boss and be like, hey, this person said something mean about me on the internet. Oh, got him.
No, like, I would never.
Where are you at in your life when you're trying to do that? That's so stupid to me, you know?
I will never go real life, to be honest. I would never do that.
The only valid criticism, I think, is it should be very concerning to people that a man with the family history that he has is so interested in the death and sexual assault of 2 teenage girls.
That is okay. I did go real life on that, so I guess that's me being hypocritical. I'll call.
No, I just think there's some exceptions that like apply to what we're talking about. No, you know, I think
it's important that I address that I said that, but that I have brought that up. But I think that that's concerning when you've got the personality type that person has. He's very angry all the time, shouting, like long-standing rumors of issues. And
and so my challenge to him, he has 48 hours. I want a picture of him from head to foot, standing next to 2 yardsticks stacked on top of each other. And if I don't get that within 48 hours, I have 10 thumb drives full of everything he's ever said about Kathy Allen, and it's going out to all of Rick's family. I know where they're at.
Oh my God.
The UPS Express, baby. And it's not traceable. I've got an alias.
You're crazy.
48 hours. Make it happen.
48. 45? 48.
The other thing, like we talk about real life and stuff, because again, we're all secretly lawyers. And we're all PR professionals. I would be terrible at PR. I didn't even know what the word vitiate until 5 days ago, 6 days ago. I think it's also problematic that you have a woman out there in Amy G who goes on this huge campaign defending Monica Wallace, saying the Viktor Frankl books that she gave Rick are fine, which, by the way, we're about to talk about like Rick's religion and stuff. And in the Viktor Frankl books, he talks about the spiritual God helping him through his suffering in the Holocaust. Read the books. It's crazy. And she defends Walla with this pretty fervently and has an argument with Ange about it on Twitter, by the way.
When?
And then she turns around and then tells people that she was formerly a corrections psychologist. I think that's worth discussing. But because I say that, all of a sudden now I am pushing people out of the community. By the way, I've got news for you. If I get under your skin and I'm the reason you're leaving YouTube, you're not fucking cut out for YouTube. I'm sorry.
Period.
It's the same. It's like
when did this happen?
Adams County Sheriff's Office.
When did this situation you're referencing happen?
Like months ago.
Okay, because I was gonna say, to be fair, Amy G kind of dropped off, and she's catching strays right now.
Well, he brought it up in his last live that I apparently was the one who ran Amy G out of town. So I'm just responding.
See, I don't watch and I don't know. I'm so sorry. See, I don't get it.
Again, she's not catching strays. These are her words. This is what she said. It came out of her mouth.
Literally, the only issue I've ever had with Amy G is that I think she has some kind of weird personality thing where she cannot admit not being right about something.
They're all in the same group. They're all together.
Yeah, they all can. You're right. Every single one of them can admit being wrong about something. You're so right.
Do you guys know how many things I post on Twitter weekly where it's either what? Sleuthy, all eyes, maybe Amy when she's on Twitter. I don't mean to like specifically single you guys out, but I'll get a response going, "Hey, by the way, that's not the way that happened, actually." And I go, "You know what I do? You know what I do? Instead of getting upset and then going scorched earth and accusing everyone of being on a PR campaign against me, you know what I do? I go, okay, thanks. That's good to know." And then I move on with my fucking life.
Right.
Like, stop taking yourself so seriously.
Right.
We are bags of meat in a skeleton mech on a rock that's orbiting a hydrogen ball that's on fire, and we're being ruled by billionaire pedophiles. Nothing is serious.
Shout out Theo Vaughn. What he said was true.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't even like, if Joe Rogan's calling you crazy, you're probably onto something, right?
You're probably smart as fuck. Sleuthy Goosey said, "Who the fuck is Amy, by the way?" And I'm dying. It's Daisy Ass. Remember Daisy Ass? She stopped coming on.
She's wannabe Walla.
She was bullied off the platform, apparently, by me and Keith. I didn't know being critical of someone was bullying.
Yeah, Amy G is not Holly. Coates is, I believe Coates knows Kathy personally.
Quite a few know Kathy personally. It's almost like weird people, succubuses, like thought, I'm gonna close Kathy.
Yeah. They always tell me that, like, they always tell me Kathy prefers this, Kathy prefers that. Oh, really? Cool. When did you start becoming friends with Kathy? When did you guys first become friends?
Oh, when you heard about the case, you started writing?
Was it in October of 23?
That's weird.
November? Maybe December? Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I don't want to turn into a whole thing, but I just it's just so funny to me that I can't wait.
We're like having a therapy session right now.
I can't. Hey, you think? How about this? If you're willing to, I'm not gonna pressure you into doing anything you don't want to do. But when they post pictures of this guy that they think is me, I'm gonna actually find him, and I think we should have him on a live.
What do they mean? Who they think is you? You're on video right now.
It's who they know is me. Yeah. By the way, go back into my Twitter history. I gave them a lot of clues on how to find me. And if you can't find me using that, like, that's open source.
Like, they're trying to find your real name, like Keith,
like my legal name. I don't know what they think they're going to do. Listen, if you think you're going to get me fired, call my boss and tell him what I'm saying online. He's going to go, that's fucking funny.
They better not.
But
we
anyways,
can get real petty, because I never do anything first.
Who's the fake paralegal? That's Christy Calderon, right?
No.
Well, Christy Calderon was the one who like magically became Kathy's friend,
right,
early on, and she's the one who, like,
whose son I know.
What's that?
Remember, Christy Calderon's the one who has the son that I used to rave with.
That's right. She emails me like.
Wait a minute.
Oh, hello.
Defense Diaries Pod said, "Oh, hey, the gang's all here. Bob's never been in my stream before that. I'm freaking out."
We had a pretty good week with Ange coming back.
It's like a real celebrity. Hi, Bob.
Yeah. Hi, Bob.
Oh my God, yeah. Fucking Ange back. That too I wanted to touch on.
Okay, but anyways, in closing, Kathy's compromised. There are a lot of people that are probably not looking out for Rick's best interest. And that's not me just saying it. We heard it from some people who matter, if you will. Okay. And that was in Ange's chat.
Shabug is fangirling.
We're all
I am the
fangirling.
Number one fan. 65K subs, y'all.
Yeah. Congrats.
$1 y'all. Can someone link their page? Thanks. All right. So let's get back and started on the last half of this, shall we?
Okay. We're at 44?
Yeah, 44.
Okay. You just let me know when you want me to read.
Okay. It
Don't do
was so good to see Ange back, and I hope we get to see her again. Also, really great to see Yellow Jacket. Also, really good to see DB whoring himself out some more.
to hear DB. Yeah.
Yeah.
The three of them. What a hard act to follow on a Friday night. But we're gonna try.
What my tiny little channel has to link up Bob's.
I think it's still a courteous thing to do.
I just love them.
Yeah.
They're my favorite married couple.
Hey, don't do what you did last time where you save all the pages with the hard words for me, okay? You gotta take us some hard words. I'm kidding.
Did I do that?
No, just tell me when to read.
That's fine. I gotta figure out how to make us way smaller.
So we're stopping at the thought, right? And commenting?
Yes.
Okay.
Like anything you've notated that you want to touch on? Where should we go? Down here? Over here? Over here? I think that does. Okay.
I think over here, then, if you like maybe zoom out once or twice.
Zoom out?
Maybe one more time? I mean, I guess they don't have to like read along if you haven't seen it by now.
Is that good?
I think that's good. Can you see that? Can everyone see that in the chat?
We're learning how to do things here. Sorry, guys. All right. I'm gonna start at the court properly admitted. Okay. Although Allen did not preserve this issue, the trial court properly admitted confessions Allen made to his family, Dr. Walla, and correctional staff. The confessions were voluntary, not the product of state coercion, and therefore did not violate his due process right against self-incrimination under either the 5th and 14th Amendments or Article 1, Section 14 of the Indiana Constitution. I highlighted this part because this part kind of like seals the deal for me. I worry that there wasn't officers like shouting at him in his cell, "So you did it!" that it's just not going to be enough because of the way they look at actual state coercion.
Right. Like I think we talked about this with Ausbrook. Like it's not just the environment. There has to be the additional intent, right?
Wait. DB, how did you pull that PDF up with such blazing speed? My favorite thing about Ange's reunion fucking stream was DB just like... DB does not partake in THC, but you would swear that he does.
No, DB is on every upper that's ever existed.
It's insane.
Yeah, my favorite part was when Yellow Jacket said, "Can you just show it?" And DB goes, "Can I do the bit? Can I do the bit, please?"
Like even I got frustrated. I was like, "I'm kind of over the bit, Thieves." Kind of over it. Oh God, so good. Okay. His other state constitutional claims are meritless, and the trial court properly excluded the IPAS settlement, which was not relevant to the voluntariness inquiry. This issue is unpreserved. Although Allen renewed his pretrial objections to the confessions before the correctional officers and Dr. Walla testified, he did not request a continuing objection or contemporaneously object to testimony about the confessions. More importantly, he affirmatively stated he had no objection to the documents memorializing his confessions to correctional staff and Dr. Walla, and he objected only on a different basis to recordings of his confessions to family. Defendant may not affirmatively state at trial that he has no objection to the admission of evidence and then claim such admission to be erroneous on appeal. And he does not argue fundamental error. This court should find the issue waived. Any comments on that?
I don't know. if you're a meathead like me, I think you just interpret this as like a more of a technicality. They're not challenging that there was some shady stuff going on with the way the confessions were extracted. They're just saying, hey, technically you had a defense team that didn't object to this at the time that it was admitted, despite the Franks and the not having the hearing.
Weird.
So no givesies backsies. You can't triple stamp and double stamp is how I interpret it.
DB said about to send Sleuthy some voice clips, and it just made me have the realization that I uploaded fucking audio clips and I forgot all about it. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Yeah.
And now that I know how to do this, I know what I'm doing.
I'll send you some.
Oh man.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
No. No.
Okay, wait.
Wait, did you guys hear it?
Wait.
I don't think you're a bad person. Neither does she.
What kind of good person kills two people?
I hear, but like faintly.
Fuck.
I know.
Wait, I wonder if it's because I'm sharing this. Hold on. It's worth it. Someone said, ew. Wow, that was a great clip. Are you being a fucking smartass right now? Okay, hold on. Okay.
It's being a little shit.
We've had an unexpected turn of events.
How about that one? Wait.
We've had an unexpected turn of events.
No? Still bad? Wait, who has my mouse? It's me, GB. I can't. My shit is so loud. You guys, anybody who is good at this streaming thing, if you could help me figure out how to make it so you can't hear my loud ass typing and mouse, I would love you forever. Because no one with any hearing auditory issues could ever listen to me. It's the worst. My mouse is...
It's not that bad. Get over it. Everybody get over it. It's fine.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It's fine.
And
it's your typical average starting out YouTuber. It's fine.
Walk with me. Deal with me. That's really bumming me out that the volume on this sucks. I wonder... All right. You know what? I'll get to that later. But anyway, I have these... It was Judge Gall. And it's
Then we are in recess.
With that being said, we are in recess. And then her saying...
We had an unexpected
turn of events. And
I would give anything for the soundbite of her going, I don't conduct court in your bedroom, so please don't sleep in my courtroom.
Shut up. She says that?
Oh yeah. She said that during trial, dude. She was like, I know it's hot in here, but don't fall asleep in my fucking courtroom, dude.
Wow.
I swear to God. She's like, I don't do court in your bedroom. Don't sleep in my courtroom. Wait, you have it?
Don't swim in my toilet. I don't pee in your pool. Wait, did y'all forget me and T have the whole thing in AI?
Oh, shit. We did. We did.
Okay, what was I doing? Oh, yeah.
I do want, you know what my soundbite would be personally? It would be Andy Baldwin going, and they still have yet to say sorry to me. That's what mine would be.
Ooh, if you can find me timestamps, I'll clip it. And
yeah, I'll just find it. I'll send it to you.
How to make it louder. Okay, Alan's confessions were voluntary. Wait, what page am I on? Motherfucker. Oh, here it is. Okay.
You want me to read?
No, I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Both the federal and the state constitutions prohibit the admission of involuntary confessions. A confession is involuntary when a person's free will has been overborne by violence, threats, promises, or other improper influences. Well, I would argue that Westville is an improper influence. I would argue that the actual like state of the totality of his whole situation at Westville would be coercion in a way, but it depends on, you know, when I was reading like the last half earlier today, I was like thinking a lot to myself that this, like other people were saying, smarter people, this is a lot on, it depends if the people, the judges going over this, if they care or not. Like, if they care, they'll find a way to make it work. If they don't give a shit, then they've got a million ways to not give a shit.
Yeah, I think like Andrea, when she first read the appellate brief, I think it was her kind of the way she broke it down was like, this is more of an appeal to their humanity than it is necessarily like case law, you know?
Right.
Which maybe it's a shot in the dark, maybe it's not. Maybe that's an inaccurate interpretation by me of what she was saying, but that's just how I analyzed what she was saying. But when you read through it, you're kind of like, hey, they treated this guy terribly. I think it's just crazy how the law itself works, where like, again, you have law, then you have ethics, where it's like, okay, we get it. It's technically not a violation of the law, but it's just the wrong thing to do, you know, holding someone in that condition. And the one thing I took away from a lot of this entire response was they would say like, well, we treated him better than the other convicts. And it's like, he wasn't a convict. He was a pretrial
right
detainee.
Well, they say inmates, but like,
inmates. Yeah.
I would argue those inmates are all fucking convicted. They're not like,
and then again,
detainees.
You also default down to like, even if they are convicted and they're there, is it humane to do that to another human being? You know?
The chat's going wild as always. I love our chat. We have a great Reddit. We actually have a lot in here tonight, 56 actually, because we were talking about Erica Norse Matthias. So like,
I know they're
all in here watching now.
They're talking.
I can't take credit for any of this. Hate watching. Guy says, no offense to people that like box wine. Let me tell you, y'all, when I used to rave back in the day, back in 2005, 2007, loved that cheap ass box wine. We'd pull it out of the fucking box and spank it and chug it.
The bag.
Yeah.
Yep. Tap the bag.
Good old
As an alcoholic myself, I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know how I knew I was an alcoholic at the ripe old age of 21? I would wake up with one of those bags empty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's tough.
Whew! All by myself. Good Lord. We sober now, though, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're, I don't drink alcohol anymore. I am, oh my God, guys. I didn't even realize tomorrow is my 4 years sober.
Hey, congrats.
Yay! Woohoo! 4 years, no alcohol.
Very cool. Happy for what an accomplishment, man.
I never thought I'd be able to do it.
Yeah.
I really didn't. And I always had this, sorry, detour, guys. Side quest, ADHD as fuck. I always had this pattern of relapsing. Thank you guys so much in chat. You guys are so sweet. I had this pattern of relapsing literally before rehab, it was like I would make 2 months. But after rehab, it was like 6 to 7 months I would make it.
Yeah.
And God, I was just like, if I could get to 1 fucking year, just 1 fucking year, it would be great. I never made it to a year. until this time around when I've made it to 4.
Yeah.
So happy to be here, guys. I was a mess. It was not fun. I wasn't even a fun drunk. I was in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone has varying
Thank
approaches
you.
to certain things. Like I mean, I was afraid I was one because like my dad was one, you know. Like my dad had a huge problem.
Really?
And then like at college, I'll never forget, I was at a frat party at the University of Michigan, and I got so hammered they rolled me up in like this cut up carpet.
Oh,
And
no.
then they had me. I was like rolled up in it, and I'm cooped up. And then all they did was lay the carpet on the deck to where like my head was hanging over, and I would just. So my head.
Bro, people die that way.
Oh, I wasn't turned off.
No, but like, didn't they just find some? I just saw some story about a kid rolled up in a mat or something that they left.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
College and men do not go together very well when there's.
Yeah,
alcohol.
I know. I had. God, what did I have? What class? I had some stupid ass class next morning.
Sleuthy said, "No, it's true what they say. Your worst day sober is better than your best day fucked up." So true. And if anyone else has got an issue in the chat, I was at that point towards the end there where you're so physically exhausted, like you don't even want to drink anymore because literally when you get drunk, it feels like shit. It's not even enjoyable anymore, and it's just exhausting.
So I'm not going to ask any questions. I don't want to.
No, please. I'm like open book as fuck. You know
okay. Did you ever have a time where like when you'd wake up and you feel that way, just like it floated back into your hands? And like it was like I've heard people say like I don't even know. This was my dad. Like he's like I don't even know how it got there. I think I just walked into opened the fridge, grabbed something, and there it was.
Oh please, no! I had to have. If I didn't have something when I woke up, hungover, I would instantly, like if I had to go to work, I would instantly get ready, and go to the nearest 7-Eleven. And pick up like a 6-pack of beer and chug 2 before my shift. And it was like that every time.
Yeah.
I would chug, I would go on little like bathroom breaks and I would chug a beer and I would stuff it in the fucking trash at wherever I worked. Like it was a struggle, guys.
Yeah.
I'm being so for real. Shout out to all my best places of employment.
I hear ya. I just like listen. I just enjoy like the taste of it, and it's so weird. Like I'm having like a nice little beer right now, little Voodoo Ranger. Like when I have when we're on, I have like my whiskeys. Like I do this thing where like I do the smoke thing now, and it tastes a little smoky. And then I'm like, okay, cool. This is like. And then I wake up the next day and I go and I lift weights or try to run. And then
I could never. I was so sick the next days. I wouldn't get out of bed.
No.
And then if I would have to have a hair of the dog, right? So then I would end up drunk again. And then I had this thing where, oh God, I actually love talking about this, guys. It's been a while. I would have this thing where I would get the 6-pack. I would drink it all. I would get drunk. I'd get another 6-pack. So then it would go from like 12 to 8. To 6, to 3, to okay, I'm okay. I can be okay without alcohol for the next like 2 months that I would try to be sober.
Right.
I mean, it's just that's why it's so exhausting, right? Like
that sounds like a job.
It's literally like a job, and not fun. But I loved beer though. Like you were saying, like you just enjoy the taste. I loved beer.
Yeah.
Like if I could say I miss anything, like I wish sometimes that I was a normie so I could go have a margarita on the rocks. Or my favorite was the margarita with the fucking little mini Corona inside, like Snooki used to do on Jersey Shore. Yeah.
Those are dangerous. Do you ever do mocktails, or does it like is that like kind of towing the line? Yeah, no.
It's not that it toes the line. It's just
okay.
like, I'm a fucking alcoholic. If I'm gonna drink something, I want bang for my buck. Why am I gonna drink some shit, a mocktail that's not gonna do anything to me? Do you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna have my Diet Pepsi. I don't need the look of like I'm drinking too. And
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just don't care.
Like if I ever had a problem and I went like no alcohol, I'd probably still do like a non-alcoholic Guinness that like, like pregnant moms will drink those or whatever. I'd probably do that. But yeah, dude, almost nothing beats a Diet Dr. Pepper, Sleuthy. Almost nothing.
I love a Diet Coke from McDonald's. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, the what God was it? The vanilla cream Diet Dr. Pepper. Oh my God!
I can't do the sweet mixes. I can't.
No.
Oh.
Well, that's me. I don't have a huge sweet tooth, but I do. I'll destroy a fridge back of those, no problem.
But yeah, I really only liked beer, and like I drank the shit out of White Claws towards the end of my heyday. Oh, yeah. If you didn't think you could black out on White Claw, let me tell you, you can.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did, but it was like you're young. I think I was just out of college when White Claw was coming through.
Oh my God.
But when was it? I graduated 2016, 2014.
Oh, Sleuthy loves the Dr. Pepper cream.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that stuff is...
Streets. Root beer and Captain Morgan. Do y'all remember Captain Morgan? Captain Morgan used to be the shit. This is just a Friday hangout, chill, and read the fucking reply brief at this point, guys. Sorry.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around like root beer with Captain Morgan. I'm gonna try it before I knock it. And this is coming from a woman who gave me a really hard time about how occasionally I put ranch on a hot dog, and I think that's okay. It's like a chicken bacon ranch. It did again.
Ew!
Hash before you bash it, okay?
It's like a bologna with ranch. That's just.
Well, sorry, some of us grew up poor.
I grew up poor. I didn't eat that shit. You know what? I ate fucking top ramen like a normal person.
I'm fucking with you. Top ramen sets. Or those little like, dude, my single mom would bring home those like microwavable burritos from like the dollar store, and we doctor those fuckers up. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I never have a clean nasal passage because of those some bitches.
the beef and green chili. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was raised by a man, so I can eat like a college dude like all the time. Like I could survive off frozen foods, I swear.
Yeah.
All right. Back to this.
Yeah. I like these little segues. I think it's good.
No, I love it. I love having fun with you guys. And you guys are like having crazy chats and also very serious chats. So thanks for being here. Love you guys.
Ketchup sandwich. I kill myself. I'm sorry, I had to unalive myself.
Wait, ketchup on a sandwich?
Oh, I never tasted ketchup in my entire life.
Wait, okay. Wait, what?
Yep. I smelled it when I was a kid and I got sick and I never again. Barbecue sauce. Good with that.
Are you getting sick talking about it?
Oh yeah, it's not my favorite thing in the world. Yeah. Yeah, my girlfriend like dip a fry and go woo like in my face. I'm like, whatever, dude.
I love her.
I put vinegar in her coffee the other day. What?
What's your girlfriend's name again? Oh, you don't want to say. Sorry. Well, I don't know why I was.
I just want to see if they can find me.
My bad. Anyway, I'm sure it's a beautiful.
You wouldn't know her. She goes to a different school.
She doesn't go here.
Ketchup on eggs, eat belly. Oh! Very little should go on eggs, though, to be fair. Like, just eat the fucking egg, okay?
Salt and pepper.
Yeah, a little salt and pepper. Maybe some paprika if you're feeling fancy. Get it down, get your protein, move on with your day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I don't like to do ketchup on eggs, but I'll do it on a scrambled.
I'm skinny. We used to make ketchup soup in college. I'm having a fucking panic attack right now at the idea. What is ketchup soup? Don't tell me what it is. I don't want to know.
Why don't you just go buy Campbell's tomato soup? It was like 20 cents back in your day. Maybe
How about
10.
this? Yeah. How about this? Make ketchup soup and then launch it into fucking space as far away from you as you can. What the fuck?
Oh God! Yeah,
I'd rather hear Erica Norse talk about how hard she worked on the case for 6 hours than eat a bite of ketchup soup. Yeah, my Freemason tattoos.
Y'all are triggering. Woman said, "Y'all are triggering."
You guys came for the drama, and you ended up hearing us talk about ketchup.
Wifey Bree said only cock sauce and eggs, and I'm pretty sure you mean sriracha.
Yeah,
I love sriracha.
yeah,
Like nobody's business. I put that shit on everything.
yeah. You know what's really good with sriracha, or like to put sriracha in, is top ramen.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like it makes it authentic almost.
Sleuthy, cock sauce is sriracha, the red shit. So good.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay.
People were giving me such a hard time about the damn ranch on a hot dog. You guys do know I live in a place where they put cinnamon on ground beef and beans, and they put that on spaghetti, and then they put a fuck ton of cheese all over it.
Stop it! What is wrong with people? Hi, Fig Fairy.
Hello.
Hi, the good Fig.
Hello. Yeah, Chester, ramen noodles are the best, man. Nothing
I can
better.
live without ramen. I don't love like pastas or soups, especially combined.
Yeah,
I'll fuck with top ramen, but like I don't choose it.
Yeah. Do you like what soup do you do if you were gonna do soup?
Oh, hands down, Tom Kha Thai soup, the coconut soup with the chicken and the coconut cream. Oh,
Yeah.
Thai food is my favorite. Mexican and Thai food.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. I like Indian.
I hate Indian food.
Really? Yeah, I like Indian. No, don't be. No.
To anybody out there who really loves Indian food.
Yeah, cocktail sauce on eggs. Now we're just trying to be funny, I think. I'm just not going to take that one seriously.
Okay, anyway, under the federal constitution, the state must prove voluntariness by preponderance of the evidence. And the ultimate determination of voluntariness is reviewed de novo. I loved hearing them talk about de novo the other day.
We did. We heard a lot about de novo.
Though under what stream was that?
What's that?
What stream was that again?
That was R&M.
Yeah, because R&M Productions is back.
They're back, baby.
Drop the link to R&M.
Yep.
Please.
Yep.
All right. Under the state constitution, voluntariness must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, but the trial court's determination of voluntariness is reviewed as other sufficiency matters. An appellate court will not reweigh the evidence of voluntariness and views the evidence in the light most favorable to the trial court's ruling. If there is substantial probative evidence supporting the court's conclusion that the statement was voluntary, that conclusion will not be set aside. Excuse me. All right. Coercive state action is a prerequisite to involuntariness under both constitutions. Coercive state action is a necessary predicate to a finding of involuntariness under the federal constitution. The Constitution is not concerned with moral and psychological pressures to confess emanating from sources other than official coercion. Now, here's where my question comes in. What if those psychological pressures were caused by the actions of the state? He wasn't in a place like that, mentally broken down to a point where he's saying wild shit until he was put in that circumstance for several months. So how is there a legal way to view that as state coercion would be my question. Does that count? Or does it plainly look at state coercion as like they literally have to be in there in his cell, like, do it?
Well, and I think we find that out because the state argues that he confessed before and after the psychosis, which apparently can just be, diagnosed, undiagnosed. So I don't know, I'll switch that psychosis. It's really no big deal.
Very convenient.
Yeah, very convenient.
Coercive state action is a necessary predicate to a finding. Did I read all this before? Probably. Pressures to confess from emanating from sources other than official coercion. Okay. This remains true even when a defendant suffers from mental illness. A defendant's mental state is not enough to render a confession involuntary in the absence of coercive police activity. Sleuthy says they literally did not let him see his wife until after he confessed months and months later. Correct. I wrote that somewhere. Do we have the dates on that somewhere? Because they even reference in here that he saw his wife at least 2 times. Are we being for real about 2 times? Like that's a gift?
Yeah.
To a diagnosed dependent personality disorder?
Yeah. And I think, I don't know if conflict of interest is the best phrase, but it's like the same person he confessed to, where he made a confession only the killer would know, is also the same person who was responsible for diagnosing and treating him with his condition. Like that's problematic.
It's problematic. It's the only confession that's detailed.
Like it's not like he went to Dr. Stupid and then got diagnosed with psychosis. Then they reassigned him to Dr. Dumb, and then he confessed to Dr. Dumb. You know what I mean? Like this is the same individual that we're talking about. So it's like we're relying solely on Walla and Dr. Martin, right, to tell us exactly when Rick was in a state of psychosis.
Right.
I don't know.
Evidence of a defendant's mental condition that impaired his cognitive or volitional capacity is never by itself sufficient to render a confession involuntary for purposes of due process. Stating the mere fact that a defendant is mentally ill does not render his statement inadmissible per se. Even an actively psychotic or delusional defendant can give a voluntary confession. A defendant's mental condition is relevant to the voluntariness inquiry only insofar as it renders the defendant more susceptible to police coercion. Although Allen asserts coercive state action is not a prerequisite under the Indiana Constitution, he provides no analysis to support this assertion, and the Indiana Supreme Court has never held this. No other justice has ever adopted Justice DeBruler's concurring opinion on blah, 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 suggesting that police coercion might not be required under the Indiana Constitution. Neither Robbins nor Justice DeBruler identified the applicable constitutional provision, Section 14, or engaged in any analysis of it. In both cases involved statements made in response to police interrogation, not volunteered statements. Now, I would argue here, is it not worse that he didn't confess under interrogation, simple interrogation, and it actually took like months and months of breaking him? Like, I would argue that the fact that it took months of him having a clear mental breakdown because of the state of he was in, because of the scenario, because he was in solitary confinement, because he had a tablet that didn't really fucking work.
Right. Absolutely. We're not talking about this is someone who's been in and out of psychosis or who has feigned psychosis their entire life. This is someone who is in a state of psychosis as a result of the conditions that they were placed in. And we know that that is a valid argument because the state kind of responds to that pretty oddly. But Yeah, I think they're pretty much saying like, hey, we didn't waterboard him. We didn't burn a cigarette in his arm and say, you're going to tell us you did it. And there's no, even if we did, there's no evidence that you have of that. So you can't just say like, because we put him in a room and all this other stuff that his confessions weren't valid. Like we gave him a fucking iPad, dude. He's fine.
He's fine. He had a mattress. State constitutional questions are resolved by examining the language of the text, the history of its drafting and ratification, case law interpreting it, and the purpose of and structure of our Constitution. As explained in Section B below, under the Indiana Constitution, the prohibition on the use of involuntary statements in criminal cases rests solely in Article 1, Section 14's protection against self-incrimination. Section 14 protects only against compelled testimony. It is a right not to be forced to speak. And the compulsion it protects against is state compulsion. Protects against compulsion by legal process to give incriminating testimony, blah, blah, blah. Allen identifies nothing in history, text, or precedent that suggests Section 14 protects against a compulsion to confess that is independent of any state section, or that it applies to volunteered statements not made in response to police interrogation or state-compelled questioning. Without coercive state action, there can be no compelled testimony under Section 14. Coercive state action is absent in this case. None of the usual hallmarks of police coercion are present in this case. Allen's confessions were entirely volunteered statements. They were not made in response to any law enforcement interrogation. Allen was not subjected to torture.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Come on.
I just had a visceral reaction to that. Okay, not torture. Legally defined as torture, but not torture, guys. Not torture.
Right.
I lost my ass when I was stunned by that word.
Torture, beatings, or physical abuse.
Or physical abuse by law enforcement. He was not threatened with harm or offered any promises in exchange for his confession. But he did get to see his wife. Sure did get to see his wife finally.
Well, we didn't really get a chance to hear the audio of what was being said to him while he was on video.
And he was not held incommunicado. I just like that word. He was not held incommunicado and denied requested access to his family or legal counsel until he confessed. I would argue it was hard for his counsel to see him.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that. I think there was some mentionings in a hearing somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. The alleged coercive state action in this case rests solely on the conditions of Allen's confinement in the restricted housing unit, correct. But the conditions of Allen's confinement did not rise to the level of coercive state action, rendering his confessions involuntary. While the conditions of an individual's confinement prior to confession may bear on the question of whether government conduct was coercive, the mere fact that a defendant was held in disciplinary segregation or solitary confinement prior to making a statement is not sufficient to constitute the requisite coercion. Rejecting claim of involuntary confession based on conditions of solitary confinement. A confession made after spending 2 years in solitary confinement was voluntary. Were they convicted? Were they convicted? Did they have a mental illness? I would like to know the details. Conditions of confinement rise to the level of psychological coercion or compulsion, rendering statements involuntary only when they are so severe as to be intolerable circumstances that constitute outrageous conduct by the authorities. Holding that the conditions of state prison isolation cells were not so intolerable as to constitute coercion.
I think outrageous conduct by authorities would probably be allowing a man to have his own feces on him for a predetermined amount of time. I just think that's an element there. I think it's something to consider.
Oh, I hope in the reply that they have a picture of his injuries.
Yeah. Yeah, letting him run into the door head first. Yeah.
Please show the pictures of his injuries. Okay. Of confinement rendered confession involuntary when for 2 weeks the defendant had been held naked in a small cell with no window, no bed or other furnishings, and no facilities except a hole in the ground serving as a toilet, fed only 12 ounces of pea and carrot soup and 8 ounces of water per day, and denied all contact with the outside world. Conditions the court deemed a shocking display of barbarism. Like a barber?
Kind of.
Confession involuntary when defendant held incommunicado for 11 days in cold, unlighted, windowless cell where he was kept chained to a wall, fed bread and water, not allowed to bathe, and told he would remain there unless he confessed. Allen's confinement conditions were not outrageous or barbaric. Although small, his cell was the same size as the other restricted housing cells and was furnished with a mattress and a bed frame, a toilet, and a sink. It had a window to the outside. When Allen complained the window was scratched, the DOC replaced it. Oh, he could dim the light in his cell, and he has never claimed that the temperature in his cell was oppressively hot or cold. It is undisputed that Allen was offered regular, nutritionally sufficient food and drink and was given all prescribed medications. He also had access to commissary. He was provided with laundry service and clean sets of clothes every week. Even when on constant suicide watch, he was provided with a suicide smock to wear. Huh. Great. He could shower 3 times per week, except when precluded by suicide watch status. This is my favorite part. He could shower 3 times per week, guys. He could shower 3 times a week, except when precluded by suicide watch status, which he was always on. He received 1 hour of recreation time 5 days a week in indoor and outdoor exercise areas. He was allowed to have a Bible, other books, and reading material, and crossword puzzles in his cell. And he was offered a television for his cell, but declined the offer. Allen was never held incommunicado. He was appointed legal counsel and received both in-person visits and private phone conversations. Private? With his attorneys. He received at least 2 in-person visits with his wife. Oh, there it is. At least 2 in-person visits with his wife. A privilege afforded no other inmate, maybe because they're convicted. In restricted housing. He could receive weekly visits from a chaplain upon request. Allen had a tablet in his cell that he could use to make phone calls to family and others. It was always broken. When he broke his first tablet, he was given a second one free of charge. Also a privilege afforded to no other convicted inmate. Allen could listen to music, watch movies, play games, and send written messages on the tablet, for which he probably didn't have much use when he was going through a psychotic breakdown. Allen also received regular medical and mental health care. Did he? He was checked regularly by medical staff, including daily checks while on suicide watch. He also received daily checks by Dr. Walla or other mental health professionals while on constant suicide watch, and weekly checks otherwise. And he was offered at least 1 out-of-cell session with Dr. Walla every week. Thus, all of Allen's basic needs were met. He was given food, clothing, shelter from the elements, access to sunlight, basic hygiene, medical care, mental health care, opportunity for exercise, opportunity for intellectual stimulation, opportunity for spiritual care, contact with loved ones, and contact with his attorneys. These conditions were not so barbaric as to overcome a person's will. Conditions of confinement are not so harsh as to be coercive when defendant was fed, permitted to shower and exercise regularly, could make phone calls, and could receive visits. Conditions of confinement not coercive when defendant could shower and exercise 3 times per week and was fed. Moreover, except for the several ways in which he was received more favorable treatment and the video-only camera in his cell, Allen's confinement conditions were identical to any inmate in restricted housing, except they were convicted. Under the logic of Allen's argument, then, no statements made by inmates in restricted housing, such as their jail phone calls or Mirandized interviews, could ever be admissible. But he cites no authority, and the state is aware of none, that supports such a novel proposition. That is because the conditions of restricted housing, while undesirable, are a far cry from what is necessary to create an involuntary confession.
Real quick, the trial transcript volume that they cite, volume 16, it was the Gallipo direct. They talk about a cardboard box being in his room for his TV, but I never see anywhere, and someone I'm sure in chat knows, where they actually claimed he was even provided a television, because I do not see that. I've been trying, I had like an hour earlier today, and I just tried to go through it again, and I cannot find where it was stated that he was offered a TV whatsoever. Because there's a guard that in fact says the contrary to that. Like, really? I believe he did not have a TV, but they never say anything other than that I've seen. So someone knows where that might be. I don't know. Just I've not seen that. I'm
sure it's something they just claim they offered.
Right. And like I think that them replacing the window, I think something really bad happened with that window, and they wanted to get rid of the evidence. That's just my, I don't know, my conspiracy brain. That's where that goes.
Yeah. Allen's confessions were not caused by the allegedly coercive conduct. For a confession to be involuntary, did I read this? Coercive state action must be causally related to the confession, emphasizing the essential link between the coercive state action and the resulting confession. Allen's argument assumes that the conditions of his confinement caused his brief period of psychosis and that his psychosis caused his confessions. But both premises are belied by the record. Moreover, the state did not attempt to deliberately exploit Allen's confinement or mental illness to procure a confession. Well, how would you figure? Would they have to admit that?
Right. Thank you all,
yeah,
by the way.
We did it. Ooh, I
knew it was somewhere. It was Walla.
Walla talked to Warden about getting him a TV while his tablet was broken. Hey.
And honest Walla.
The confinement conditions did not cause Allen's confessions. The conditions did not become more oppressive before the confessions began, nor did they become more benign before Allen stopped confessing. And the state never made any threats or promises regarding those conditions predicated on his cooperation or willingness to confess. Moreover, the confessions were not coextensive with Allen's period of psychosis. He began confessing before he was psychotic, and he continued confessing after he was no longer psychotic. But but I thought he wasn't ever.
Right.
So when did that actually start?
That's the thing that gets me the most. You know, the conditions did not become more oppressive before the confession began. Are we to assume that the confession should immediately begin at the implementation of the conditions, or
yeah,
you know, like
it doesn't make more sense that it took 5 to 6 months of torture?
It's almost as if like a lot of crazy shit happened and it started to like weigh on him that he was in a completely new environment that wasn't, I don't know, going home to his wife every day.
I don't know. Maybe it's like you're not supposed to give a person with a diagnosed mental condition like major depressive disorder, you're not supposed to put them in a condition like that for more than 15 days.
100%. And then also to make the argument like, well, yeah, he was like, dude, he was in a really shitty cell for like a long time before he started confessing. It's like, what, you think like the second the the bars closed, that he should just be like, oh yeah, I'm officially in psychosis now. Like it's very nominal in nature, the argument. It's fucking stupid is what it is.
Look at this point by all eyes. The convo about him getting a TB occurred on May 2nd, 2023, almost like a reward for something. Wow.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm pretty sure the TB, if that was an amenity, should have been offered off top. Why should it come in natal?
Well, and also volume 16, I don't think is Walla, so I think they aired in that. I think it's all Gallipo. Roberts, Gallipo, Early, Miller. Yeah, it's not Walla. So, not that
Alan was already confessing in early April 2023. But it was not until April 13th that Alan became gravely disabled. And April 14th, that his psychosis and manic behavior became significant, and he was involuntarily started on an antipsychotic medication, involuntarily. By May 2nd and 3rd, 2023, what was that date? By May 2nd and 3rd, 2023, Alan no longer exhibited significant symptoms of psychosis, manic behavior, or lack of impulse control. And
so they treated him like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
They were like, be good and we'll give you your TV. Right?
Mm-hmm. Psychosis or mania, but he continued confessing. Alan's most detailed confessions to Dr. Walla occurred on April 5th and May 3rd. May 3rd! His desire to confess was not correlated to either a change in his confinement conditions or the onset of psychosis. Moreover, the record provides a reason why Alan began confessing in early April 2023. I love this part! Moreover, the record provides a reason why Alan began confessing in early April 2023 that has nothing to do with the conditions of confinement or their impact on his mental health. No. First, Alan experienced a markedly stressful event around the beginning of April. He received his legal discovery at the end of March, beginning of April, and he had a meeting with his attorneys on April 3rd, 2023, guys. His behavior began to change and worsen immediately after these two events. This discovery materials forced Alan to face the horrifying evidence of what he did to AW and LG. Images and events he had been able to ignore and repress over the 5 years in which his guilt had gone undiscovered. He was also confronted by the realization that the state had sufficient evidence for a jury to convict him, and he was likely going to spend the rest of his life in prison. You know, it's so funny about that is because it's almost like everything in literature and everything I've ever learned about criminal defendants when they're guilty is that they enjoy seeing the fruits of their labor.
Right. That's an excellent point. Yeah. You think he'd be getting excited.
Yeah. In fact, when they confess, people like Ted Bundy often love to get into the details of the stories they so choose to actually tell.
That's a damn good point.
I've never heard it argued before, actually, ever, that a convicted killer would be having some horrible, guilty, like over the top, goes into psychosis and feels why would he feel guilty? He's a psychopathic killer. He doesn't care that he killed them.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Right?
Just want to add something else too that I noticed with this, because I think you and I are on the same wavelength of how immensely fucked up this whole claim is. So they're claiming that his confessions were brought about by receiving legal discovery, right? Mm-hmm. And that the discovery materials forced Alan to face the horrifying evidence of what he did to them. Images and events he had been able to ignore and repress over the 5 years in which his guilt had gone undiscovered. Really? Then why didn't he confess when Jerry Holman revealed to him that he took a knife to the girls? Why didn't he confess when and freak out and realize his guilt when Jerry Holman told him about the unspent round and then showed him a picture of a dead girl's foot in his interrogation?
Yeah.
You
Why
think
didn't
that
he
would have
react
brought
then?
about some things that they're claiming in here, but yet here we are that he didn't have a horrifying realization until now, but Jerry Holman pretty much told him everything they had and more. And you think he would have freaked out when Jerry Holman lied to him and told him that they had experts saying that it was his voice on the video saying, go down the hill? Why didn't that bring about a confession then? If that's what we're claiming, if we're claiming that Richard Allen started to confess after he was made aware of the evidence that was had against him, why didn't he do that when it was originally presented to him?
Why don't we skip all this and get to that way long ago?
Right. Cut the floor play.
I know why. Because Jerry Holman's a fucking terrible detective.
maybe
worst read of my life.
Maybe Rick was like, look at this fucking loser. No way he knows what's going on.
That's why I wish these audio clips worked, because I have another one of Jerry and he's like, what's he say? Hold on. Wait for it.
Your conscience is trying to tell you this is the day.
Your conscience is trying to tell you this is the day.
That's the whole thing. Like, they threw the whole Reed playbook at him and more. By the way, there were some things that happened outside of the steps of Reed that Holman did, and he threw all that out there, and bingo bango, Rick is confronted with what they know, and he doesn't confess in that moment. I think some things happened along the way that made it significantly different. But Bogues, you were spot on. He would have been celebrating that, and he would have done the whole, like the God. When he said that reminded me of like BTK when they're like, "Say it, tell us who you are," and he's like, "I'm BTK."
Yeah, or they they're even silent about it, but you can tell in their head they're like,
right.
It's going. They don't fucking freak the fuck out and feel bad, because murderers don't feel bad.
Yep. They don't have an attack of conscience.
But I mean, at least not the kind that are like, oh, here's a couple of little girls. Let me go. Ugh.
Yeah. You combine that with, I don't care if there's a video of a man on a bridge that surfaces and was posted right outside of this guy's work. Someone like that is going to keep doing what they're doing. There would have inevitably, to Robert Ives, what Robert Ives was hoping for, which was more victims, totally fucked up. That's kind of when I knew that they didn't have a case at all. When he's like, you see two dead girls missing in your county, you kind of just hope it happens again. So we'll get them the second time. Like, fool me once. What the fuck are we talking about? Jesus. But I don't even know where I was going, but it's like, dude, absolutely to your point, he would have been like, okay, time for me to be like the infamous Delphi killer and like try to, gain some infamy off of it, or like celebrate it in his mind. He would have absolutely killed along the way.
Not even necessarily all that.
Well, sure,
like,
yeah.
Literally as simple as just the mere enjoyment of the relishment of what they did. It would not cause a psychotic break.
Yeah.
It's getting to relive what they did.
Right.
Like, and I've never heard it argued otherwise. It's a weird argument.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, his search history too. Like, there's nothing there that would have he would have been Googling that shit all day, every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Koberger following Brian Enton, it would have been the same thing.
Koberger had, I'm sorry for woman, forgive me, plug your ears. That shit was so obvious.
Yeah.
In his phone. Are you kidding me? Way more so, at least. To be fair. he wasn't following any of the girls. There was no direct connection in that way. But other weird shit, in his phone, other weird shit.
Yeah, he did a much better job of hiding that he was following them, I think I'll say, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm not trying to write fanfic, just feeling I have.
That's a
All
whole
right,
other stream,
anyways.
baby. Rian says, I listen to Eminem.
So do I.
So do I.
I listen to OG Eminem, though. Like, I listen to
Well, me
D12.
too.
Yeah.
Slim Shady EP. I was obsessed with Eminem back in the day. Obsessed. Really just because he was hot. But, like, I really grew to really appreciate the music. So, like, now that I'm older, I'm like, sweet. I'm glad I thought he was hot. Because great music.
Yeah. Well, I grew up on 10 Mile in Hoover, so I lived, like, down the street from where everything, like, the whole story is.
You're not
so.
8 Mile. You're 10 Mile.
I'm 10 Mile. I'm a little bougie. Sorry. Eminem was the only white guy allowed south of 8 Mile. I'm just kidding. It's terrible. Jack White was allowed to.
POD. Who's POD?
Oh God.
Who is it?
POD. They're kind of like a shittier Limp Bizkit almost.
I'm an old lady. Who are we talking about?
POD was like Youth of the Nation and
we are.
Yeah.
I love that shit. Yeah. Well, that's my generation. We good. All right, dude.
Yep. Love it,
Right.
Eminem.
I love all that. Easy E. Are you kidding?
Yeah, Easy
E. E40 is where it's at.
Yep.
Too short. All right, come on with the bear rap. Second, after spending time in Bible study, Alan said he found. Oh yeah, this is my other favorite part. Second, after spending time in Bible study, Alan said he found Jesus and accepted God into his heart on March 21st, 2023. He became preoccupied with religious matters and increasingly concerned about whether he would be reunited with his family in heaven and whether they would still love him if he had committed these crimes. Acknowledgement and repentance of sin is an important teaching in the Christian faith. A new convert's fresh concern with the status of his soul and the will of his God would lead to a desire to confess his sins, particularly when the conversion happened in close proximity to the inescapable confrontation with the sin through the legal discovery. It is at least as plausible, if not more so, that the combined effect of his religious conversion and his receipt of discovery with its realities to be faced is what caused his confessions, not the conditions of his confinement or his mental health.
Yeah. So my favorite line from this paragraph is acknowledgement and repentance of sin is an important teaching in the Christian faith. UNL's is probably the most important teaching in the Christian faith is that a judicial body violated their own customs, norms, and bylaws to convict and take away the life of an innocent man, which is probably one of the number one teachings of the Christian faith. So hope everyone's having a good Friday. There's probably a better lesson to be taught more than repentance of sin in the Christian faith. But nonetheless, we're in Indiana anywhere in America that gets, what did Stacy call it? A bastardized interpretation.
I hope in the response to this, they cite the various research out there that coincides God, the obsession with God and becoming enthralled in religion and its connection to also breaking down and being in psychosis. And they happen at the same time. It's so weird.
That or honestly, aligning with certain religions in a prison system offers you a damn good amount of protection.
Yeah.
And I get it, like he's in solitary, but
I think their biggest bite is to show its
for sure
correlation.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so much research on that.
Right. Absolutely.
Forget about it. And like literally they could explain multiple different cases each time they fucking.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's bastardized interpretation of certain religions. That's why we have the Odinists that we have. It's not that they're actually following everything to a T of what a pagan ritual would be. It's their bastardized interpretation of it.
Right.
Right? It's just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In addition to undermining any casual connection between the conditions of confinement and the confessions, the record also shows the state did not seek to exploit Allen's mental status to induce a confession. The purpose of his placement was not exploitive. Allen was validly transferred to the DOC as a safekeeper and placed in a restricted housing cell out of concern for his own safety, both from other inmates and from himself. This placement gave him a significantly greater access to mental health. Where are they arguing that safekeeping was not valid because he had representation, but there was no representation there? Did they even raise that?
Wasn't it? I don't know if in the first appellate brief, but wasn't it the email from his initial assigned attorney that he couldn't find him, and that like the accusation was the Rick Whiteman assignment was not intentional, but they couldn't find him because of that.
Did they not raise that? I wonder.
I don't know.
It might be a part of something.
Someone with a better memory log.
Law people, please.
Or just like memory people.
Yeah, memories are great. I really appreciate memories around here because mine. Whoo. Allen was validly transferred to the DOC as a safekeeper and placed in a restricted housing cell out of concern for his own safety, both from other inmates and from himself. Oh, so no objection. I'm curious to see if they really raised all of that stuff knowing there was no objection. Because if so, God, what a waste of time.
Like if Stacy and Mark missed that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Like, why would they spend so much time arguing something that they know there's so many valid no objections to?
Yeah.
Right? I don't fully trust that everything was not objected to.
Woman saying MT's motion to correct.
Oh, God, that MTC was a piece of art.
That was a doozy.
Art.
Yeah, we're so glad Erica wrote it.
Oh, God, thank you, Erica Norse Matthias. Where would we be without you? We wouldn't know to look up family trees.
Someone please get her a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of 40K, please.
No one paid that bitch ever. No one ever pay her. She is not owed a dime. She is not owed a cent. And if she is owed a cent, then it's owed by Jason, the bald dude that goes on all the shows.
Yeah.
That guy. He's the only one that owes her shit. All right.
I don't think you have a good case if you post that you were behind on submitting invoices as if it's like a flex. So
no, and I don't ever want to see Michael Ausbrook arguing that they deserve to get paid either, because no, they didn't. They were not paid employees. They just weren't.
That one's your bag. That one's not mine. But I'm with you on it. I just don't have the firsthand knowledge like you smart people do.
Anyway, I read that. This placement gave him significantly greater access to mental health professionals to help his pre-existing depression and anxiety problems than he would have had in the county jail. The state sought to offset the problem. Wait, but I thought he didn't have those. And that's why he could be in solitary confinement, because he didn't have it.
Right.
There's a constant back and forth here. The state sought to offset the problems of social isolation by providing Allen with access to mental health professionals and a chaplain, regular exercise, regular contact with family. That didn't happen. Reading material, movies, music, and an offered television. May 3rd. Oddly, May 3rd is a very featured date throughout this appeal.
Mhm.
Weird how certain things coincide on the same dates a lot of the time. The state sought to offset the problems of social isolation by providing Allen with access and law. In addition to Allen's access to legal counsel. Oh, God, you know what I loved about Angie's stream last night? Voila. The way DB would say Dr. Voila. And he didn't
Dr. Voila.
fucking miss a beat. Didn't miss a motherfucking beat. I couldn't do it. I'd keep messing it up. Dr. Voila. Dr.
Did he say like Nap Yatu?
Yeah. Voila. Okay. Advice
Napo. Sorry, Napo.
He should not talk about his case with anyone other than his attorneys, and assured him that he did not have to talk about the case to receive mental health help from her. He just had to give her content to give to Gray Hughes, who I hear is falling off.
He's having a rough go.
I hear Gray Hughes is having a rough go, guys. Should we start a GoFundMe?
No, well, I'm just afraid of where he's going to spend it, because when they find your Reddit profile and it's got fantasy porn on it, that's a tough go.
When did that happen?
You didn't see the
No.
YouTube edit? Oh, dude, the YouTube bad actors video. What?
Is that recent?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that YouTube bad
It was like, oh God, what was it? It was like, oh, I don't even want to say it because it's like, oh, it's like ketchup, but it was like older guys into like Gen Z girls or something, like really, I don't know.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Yeah, if you're over the age of 40,
covers teenage victim crimes.
Dude, what did he say? He said something about like why Koberger didn't go after one of the girls because like she wasn't hot enough or something, and I like he's fucked up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ew.
He like I don't know if it was Nancy Guthrie or there was like he was playing a video about and they were in the video pleading for like their family member to be returned when they were abducted, and he paused the video in between like the plea to like return this person and like complain that he wasn't getting enough donations.
Of course he did. Of course he did. The least surprising thing of this evening.
I know.
God damn. The very first time I went into a Gray Hughes stream, very first time I was like, oh, that's cool. He's got like a Google or something. It was probably Delphi. And then all of a sudden he starts bitching at people about money. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is this place? And how did I get here? And then he was it was like a call-in show. And people were calling in and he was like instantly a fucking asshole to them on the phone. And I'm what is your problem,
He's
sir?
like notorious for that.
Dude, can you calm down?
What's that?
Can you calm down, you sir? Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Hughes?
He's what? The only alt account I've ever made in my life. You know what I'm about to say?
No.
I made an alt account, alt YouTube account, and I pulled a picture of Walla from the trial and put it as like my profile picture, and my name was Dr. Monica Walla, and I went to his chat. I all caps. I was like, "Fuck, Gray, delete the text. They know about the van. Delete the text."
Yes.
And he absolutely had a meltdown. He screamed at he screamed at his mods to like ban me, and then when I went to go find it on replay, he went back and like deleted that section. No. I know, I'm like, you little shit, I got you so fucking good. I should have tried to record it live.
That would have been gold.
I know. I know.
God, what a loss.
Yes, classic overthinker. HTC's Google Earth video is HTC does this whole instructional video, and he shows you how easy it is to be Gray Hughes. It's one of the greatest masterpieces ever.
I need a video on that because I've literally tried to use Google Earth on here, and it's like struggle bus. You think my mouse is loud right now tonight? Join me on a Google Earth stream.
I love R&M. I love Ange. I love Yellow Jacket. I love Deebs. I miss the HCC days where he would sip his coffee and he'd go, "You stupid motherfuckers have no idea what you're talking about."
By the time I was on the scene, he
Yeah.
stopped streaming.
Mm-hmm.
So I never saw any of his lives.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
The old like Snake Greeno lives with HCC, man, those were so fucking funny. Those were good. Those were good days. I mean, those were bad days, but those were also good days. So
yeah,
sorry.
I am kind of glad I missed.
Yeah. Remember when is the lowest form of conversation. So sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. Okay. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
In addition to Alan's access to legal counsel, Dr. Walla advised him that he should not talk about his case with anyone other than his attorneys and assured him that he did not have to talk about the case to receive mental health help from her. The state made no attempt to interrogate Alan after his mental health began declining. When he became psychotic, the state did not ignore that condition while he continued to confess, but instead promptly initiated antipsychotic medication to restore Alan to his baseline mental health. Viewed as a sufficiency matter, the evidence supporting the trial court's ruling proves voluntariness beyond a reasonable doubt under the Indiana Constitution. Even reviewed de novo, the preponderance of the evidence proves voluntariness under the federal Constitution. Oh, is Michael here? Hey, Michael. Michael says, I'm at HCC. Lucky.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I used to love the coffee sip, and he'd be like, "You stupid fuckers."
I remember the 90s. I grew up in the 90s, and I loved them. You know what I remember the most? Zach Morris. Hottie.
I remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers.
Alan's other state constitutional challenges are meritless. The admission of Alan's confessions did not violate the due course of law provision in Article 1, Section 12. Criminal defendants do not have any general due process rights under Section 12. The due course of law provision of Section 12 applies only to civil cases. Due process in criminal cases is protected only through the specific rights guaranteed by other provisions of Article 1. Thus, under the state constitution, the use of involuntary confessions is prohibited only through the Section 14 privilege against self-incrimination. Alan has waived his claim under Article 1, Section 15, because he raises it for the first time on appeal in his motion to suppress and at the pretrial hearing. Alan alleged violations only under Sections 12, 13, and 14 of the Indiana Constitution. He did not allege a violation under Section 15. At trial, he merely incorporated his arguments from the pretrial hearing. Constitutional claims raised for the first time on appeal are waived. An appellate consideration in the first instance is particularly inappropriate when the constitutional claim is dependent on potentially disputed facts. Regardless, our Supreme Court has specifically declined to interpret Article 1, Section 15 as prohibiting anything more than physical abuse. Section 15 is not a catch-all provision applicable to every adverse condition accompanying confinement. Alan has not contended, either in the trial court or on appeal, that he was subjected to physical torture or beatings by correctional staff. I would argue that there is photographic evidence to say his condition got so bad that he caused physical torture onto himself. He's not medically intervened and not put in a mental facility like he should have been. But I digress. Alan has not contended either in the trial court or on appeal that he was subjected. His complaints about the conditions of his confinement do not present a viable Section 15 claim. Harmless error. Even if all the confessions were involuntary, their admission into evidence is harmless. Erroneous submission of involuntary confession is subject to harmless error review. Constitutional errors must be harmless beyond a reasonable doubt, meaning they did not contribute to the verdict. The timeline eyewitness evidence, including Alan's initial statements to police, alone creates an overwhelming certainty that Alan was Bridge Guy. Alan admitted he parked near the Freedom Bridge entrance and began walking the trail about 1:30 p.m. which was corroborated by the surveillance video capturing a car matching the appearance of his Focus driving toward the Freedom Bridge entrance, though we have no verifiable proof that that was in fact his car. He admitted he was likely wearing a dark Carhartt jacket with a hood. Not really. Blue jeans, either tennis shoes or work boots, and had a hat with him. Beanie, which matched the clothing worn by Bridge Guy. Allen identified himself as the man who walked past. No, he didn't. Wilbur Voorhees' group on the trail around 1:30 p.m. That's very subjective. Wilbur and Voorhees both immediately recognized the picture of Bridge Guy, not Richard Allen, Bridge Guy, as the man who had walked past them. Allen also admitted that when he reached Highbridge, he walked out to the first platform and stayed there for a few minutes. Blair entered the trail at the Mears entrance at or just after 1:46 p.m., and when she reached Highbridge, she saw a man on the platform who she immediately recognized as Bridge Guy. Neither Blair, Wilbur, nor Voorhees saw anyone on the trail who could have been Bridge Guy or Allen, and Allen acknowledged seeing no one else who could have been Bridge Guy. As she walked back towards the entrance, Blair passed AW and LG on their way to Highbridge, and by 2:13 p.m., the man Blair, Wilbur, and Voorhees saw, the man Allen had effectively identified himself as being, except not because he was there earlier, was following AW and LG across Highbridge and ordering them down the hill while armed with a gun. By 2:32 p.m., LG's phone had stopped moving, and by 3:11 p.m., hey, Fungi! Oh, hi, Jim. If anyone's here, hi, Candy. Sorry if I didn't say hi to you, Miku.
What up, y'all?
Love y'all. Ausbrook said, oh, they're reading. Bye. Little does he know, we're like, squirrel.
We're not just reading, we're vitiating the argument.
And having
We're doing a
visceral
vitiate.
reactions. By 2:32 p.m., LG's phone had stopped moving, and by 3:11 p.m., LG was not answering the phone when her father called, and she and AW had failed to meet him when he arrived to pick them up. Shortly before 4 p.m., Carbaugh saw a man she recognized as Bridge Guy walking westbound on CR 300 North toward where Allen had admitted he had parked his car, except she identified different clothing until she was shown that picture of the guy on the bridge.
Yeah, she saw a tan and muddy man, and then she hit him with her car, and then he was blue and bloody.
It's almost like she admits in her transcript that seeing the picture may have influenced her.
Yeah, it's almost like she got it wrong the first two times, and on the third time, they're like, all right, Sarah, before we go into this, we need you to say blue jacket and bloody. And she said, okay. And then she got it wrong. They shut the cameras off, and they're like, listen, it's your last chance if you even want to try to be famous. Blue jacket, bloody, like he had slaughtered a pig. Got it, Sarah? And she went, yeah, okay, whatever you guys need. And then cameras back on. All right, cool, here we go. And then,
it's interesting that, when they talk about the totality of her statements, they don't acknowledge the fact that the first statement might actually be the best one to weigh, because that's the one where she's not influenced by the picture.
Yeah, it probably wasn't that moment where she said whatever takes the focus off of my father.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Also, I think we talked about this last time. We're being asked, and again, I don't know the legal parameters and whatever, but like we're being asked to take into consideration the totality of Sarah Carbaugh's statements, but not the totality of Rick's statements, such as him on video footage saying he left by 1:30, or the totality of Brad Weber either perjuring himself or lying to the FBI. Anyways,
his clothes were covered in mud and fresh blood spatter. Given Allen's admissions, placing him on the trail and on the High Bridge platform at the right times to be the man seen by Blair, Wilbur, and Voorhees, except if he was a different man who arrived earlier. Except if it's a man who was there at a different time and therefore not the man at that time.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. That can't be possible, though, right? That would be like time travel. Right? Wilbur and Voorhees and their certainty that the man they saw was Bridge Guy. The absence of anyone else on the trail who could have been Alan or Bridge Guy. Where's Daniel Pearson in this? And the right timeline. Where's McCain? And the tight timeline. Oh, yes, the very tight timeline. The tight timeline you admit that can't be true because Weber comes later. And the tight timeline, this combined evidence created in connection to the abduction and murders. The only reasonable conclusion to be drawn was that Alan was Bridge Guy because we're fucking stupid. The person who murdered AW and LG. Other evidence corroborated this conclusion. He said he was there, so he did it. He was there.
Yeah, he was not many people, even though many people were there.
Even though Daniel Pearson admits to being on the bridge at the right time.
Yeah.
That's weird. Other evidence corroborated this conclusion. Most significantly, the unfired Winchester .40 caliber cartridge found by the girls' bodies was forensically matched as having been cycled. It was not forensically matched.
It was an opinion.
A sufficient agreement.
It was subjective. It was in the probable cause affidavit as a subjective analysis. Thank you.
Yeah, I would not. When I think forensically matched, I think like, oh, they actually like have DNA from the bullet that matched the other bullet, and yeah, but that's not what we have here. Okay.
Well, yeah, forensics is a huge umbrella, but
yeah,
you know,
Ipsy Dixit.
By that logic, you could argue that everything Perlmutter assessed was a forensically assessed argument. Sorry.
Very good. Okay. Alan had an identical unfired cartridge, the only piece of Winchester ammunition found in his house. Oddly enough, the only one, it's weird, it was just found, they're just sitting there perfectly, just like, hey, and they didn't recognize it or understand where it came from. That's weird.
Also,
Alan
that's not true. There was more in the gun. It wasn't the only piece of Winchester ammunition found in the house. There was another round in the actual firearm. So again, they're trying to make it seem like he kept that as like a memento, and it's just such a force. It's like, yeah, maybe they brought a couple with them, and one went into the gun, one went in the keepsake box, and they said, well, look at what we found.
Yeah. Great Lakes says, when's Keith going to take off his shirt? I heard there would be shirtless men on your stream. I did not promise that. I promise you, because Keith is a taken man, he only strips for his girlfriend.
No, we're trying to increase viewership, increase subscriptions, not lose them. So.
Oh, all right, let's get going. Bring it down.
No.
Start the music.
No. Absolutely not. But hey, I mean.
Oh, where's your track mark?
Yeah. Again, I shoot heroin through my
Can
neck.
we see your track marks?
Yeah, it's so funny, man. It's just, it really is. Also, like, dude, I know the alcoholic thing's so funny because it's like the amount of like edibles I do, and I'm literally in space half the time. Like if you only knew.
They know about me. We need more canvas. Oh. Free Berkey Bay says we need more canvas for the AI test.
Yeah. I used all my girlfriend's cover up for my arms these last few lives, so she's gonna be pretty pissed. I gotta go to Ulta and pay her back or something.
Yeah, Ulta.
Whatever.
I prefer Sephora. Shout out. Alan had no possible innocent explanation for how a cartridge that had been in his gun could have ended up at the murder scene because it didn't happen. Bridge guy had a gun and used it to compel AW and LG to go down the hill. Because you heard it? Did you hear it? We heard it. Think we all hear the video and no one hears it. An ISP trooper who had listened to over 700 of Alan's phone calls opined. Okay, guys, pay attention to this. An ISP trooper, just regular ISP trooper, who had listened to over 700 of Alan's phone calls, which is a science, opined, it was his opinion, that it was Alan's voice heard on the video saying down the hill. Although Alan had 12 old cell phones in his bedroom closet, he did not have the cell phone he had told police he had with him on the trail in 2017. Because back in 2017, when he saw the police, he actually gave them that phone and they actually opened it and they actually wrote his MEID down.
Yeah, they couldn't include this because it didn't fit the word count for the extension,
right,
I guess.
Right. Yeah. They had to talk about the length between each step of the bridge and the wood and how it's rotted and what inches.
Have you, I mean, reading this last sentence, just the argument of it, he had 12 old cell phones in his bedroom closet, which, by the way, go through the inventory sheet and look at the model of cell phones that those were. Okay.
What were they?
They're like old fucking stupid flip phones. They're not phones you could look at a stock ticker on.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I doubt there's any trade-in value, especially even back in 2017. But just the idea that they said he had 12 old cell phones in his bedroom closet, but he didn't have the phone from 2017. Therefore, we can create a reasonable inference that he destroyed the phone because he knew it contained evidence of his guilt. What a stretch. What a stretch. By that logic, every fucking thing Ron Logan lied about and got other people to lie about with his alibi can create a reasonable inference that he didn't want to be put in his backyard at 2:13 p.m. Nokia bricks are beautiful, GLF.
This was my very first phone ever. This exact phone. I was in middle school. It was 1999.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Back when you had to type like 4 times to get to like the last letter on a number.
Or boobless 8.
Yeah. 80085.
Yeah. I'm 5.
I remember sliding like a Texas Instruments calculator over to my buddy. I go, turn it upside down.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
Yeah. Dude, so I had like the Bumblebee Nokia phone, the one that was like you could do like a walkie-talkie to.
Oh, shit. Okay.
My mom got it for me. She's like, this is for nothing other than you will tell me where you are when you're there. And I remember one time I texted this girl and I was like, do you want to I forgot where I tell her like, hey, do you want to go to this party or something that like my buddy was having? And I said like, oh, excited to see you there. And then my mom like sat me down and she had like the phone records and she's like, who's Brandy?
Oh my God.
And I was like,
oh my God.
Mom, chill. She's like, is that your girlfriend? I was so embarrassed. I think I was like 12.
Blocking me, Mom.
I know, dude. God.
How old were you?
I think it was like 12 or 13. I think it was 12.
No,
because like 13
no, that's 13. So coming up for my son. He turns 11 this year. Dude,
first of all, be careful. Get in on, like, figure out. I know you know, but
I can't.
No, 13 is when like the testosterone hits. You know, like you're. Yeah, that's when I became a punk rocker, and I
my God,
dude, I dyed my hair green in the summer, like in like June. I had like long hair. I dyed it green. I had a nose ring, and my mom's like, "That will be fucking fixed before school pictures."
Damn.
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to segue, but
I'd say say you fucking want it, you pay for it, you do what?
Oh, my mom's like, no, you'll be high and tight before
Gotta
school
get a
pictures,
job.
or it's going to be your ass.
Mm.
I know. The only woman who ever loves me wants to know who Brandy is.
Oh, do you have pictures of you?
Of me from back in the day?
Yeah, green hair.
I'll have to find some. I got to screen them to make sure I don't dox myself because I want to make sure that all those old high school pictures of me. I was in the Freemason debate club at my high school in Alabama.
Oh
Fucking
god.
dumbasses.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
We should do a shoot the shit stream where we just provide just shoot the shit and provide old pictures and shit like that.
Do
I'll give you
some
time to
fun
look.
stuff with it. I'll tell you what, I look a lot different now. I did not.
I look so different.
No, you didn't.
I think I did.
You know what you looked like back in the day? You look like Mandy Moore, and you look like a slightly older Mandy Moore now, but not like as old as Mandy Moore is now.
You are way too fucking nice to me because I'm
Nope.
obsessed with her. I love her.
Remember when you said that? Where like you look just like Mandy Moore back in the day.
No, I've never been told that before. I fucking love it, and I'll fucking take it. Yeah, we'll do a show and tell. Show and tell. Oh, that'd be fun. Oh, and then you guys can link. I'll just make everyone mods, and people can link their pictures.
Or like they can DM us on X, and we'll do like a collage or something.
Yeah. Ooh, that'll be so fun, guys. Okay, we'll do that.
We also need to do. I think we need to do one where we read everyone's like funny tweets.
Oh yeah.
I think that'd be a fun one.
React to everyone's funny tweets. That would be great.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do a fundraiser to bring Judge Jessica back. So we're gonna do another meme girl.
Yeah, where's Judgy? She comes when she sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Okay, bye.
Anyways, back to depression.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the guy. Remember, ISP trooper opined that it was Alan's voice heard on the video saying "down the hill." Although Alan had 12 old cell phones in his bedroom closet, he did not have the cell phone he had told police he had with him on the trail in 2017, creating a reasonable inference that he destroyed the phone because he knew it contained evidence of his guilt. I wouldn't say reasonable. Alan also displayed consciousness of guilt by lying to police. Although he originally told police he was at the trail from 1:30 to 3:30, show me where he directly says that. And the testimony of Wilbur and Voorhees proves that he was arriving at the trail, not leaving it at 1:30. Not if that wasn't him.
Yeah. Also, I don't think Bob's in the chat anymore, but I loved when Allie said, "Dude, between 1:30 and 3:30, not from, between. Big fucking difference right there.
Dash 3:30.
Between."
Alan claimed he was at the trail much earlier, from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. It's almost like the recorded notes were miscommunicated somehow in translation, which is a much more realistic explanation of why he reacts to that time and says, "No, I was there 12 to 1."
Do you mean to tell me, Schmugs, that the 1:30 to 3:30 error or claim that was made isn't an error, or couldn't actually be an error? They couldn't have actually made that error about Richard Whiteman. There's no way.
No, they had to look at the totality of the time.
All right. Touche.
Showing he understood the damning implication of the initial timeline. Oh, the damning implication of the initial timeline. It's almost like he told him like a few days later the damning implication of this damning timeline that he reported himself literally days after it happened. And they said, "Meh, we don't care."
Unbearable.
While police executed the search warrant at his house, Alan said multiple times, "It's over," And then later in interrogation explains what he meant by that was like, you already damaged his reputation because all his neighbors saw you. And that's clarified. That's clarified, but they don't want to talk about that part.
Never mind the fact that they told his fucking neighbors to after they were searching his house to be careful with their children. We call that the Socratic method. You already have your minds made up.
It's almost like there's several instances in that interrogation with Holman where he says he cares about what other people think about him.
Yeah. And then he says, just arrest me then.
Yep. The order and settlement agreement from an unrelated lawsuit against the DOC was properly excluded, just as the ultimate ruling at a pretrial suppression hearing is no longer at issue following a completed trial. So also are subsidiary evidentiary rulings made during the course of the pretrial suppression hearing. The available issue now is the evidentiary rulings made during the trial. But Allen challenges only the exclusion of the IPA's order settlement agreement at the suppression hearing. He cites no authority to support the contention that this is a live issue for appellate review, and he makes no cogent argument addressed to the IPA's ruling at the trial. I hate that they're using the word cogent. This court should find the issue moot or waived. Not just waived, or moot. Regardless, at both the suppression hearing and at the trial, Allen was allowed to elicit evidence regarding DOC's policy limiting offenders with SMI to 30 days in restricted housing. The reason for that policy, the detrimental effect to mental health caused by social isolation. The undisputed facts that Allen had diagnosed mental health conditions upon entry to the DOC and met the definition of SMI in April 2023, and that he remained in restricted housing for approximately 13 months. He was also restricted housing. Restricted housing.
Yeah.
They make it sound like you're in the military and you're like in the bad barracks because you're on restricted housing.
Like I bet you Todd Rakita was like, can you guys put like luxury apartment in here instead? Like,
in his big cell with the big mattress that he laid upon on the temperamental floor.
In his little bachelor condo, this man has been married for decades. Assholes.
He was also permitted to present expert evidence regarding his mental health and the impact of social isolation on mental health. The only thing excluded was the court order and settlement agreement from an unrelated civil lawsuit that was the original genesis of the DOC policy. Thus, Allen was able to introduce the evidence relevant to his voluntariness challenge. Current DOC policy in effect during Allen's pretrial incarceration was relevant and was not excluded. A settlement agreement from an earlier unrelated civil lawsuit, which appeared to have expired before Allen's arrest, was not relevant, and any minimal probative value it might have possessed was outweighed by the dangers of unfair prejudice and the confusion of the issues. Allen acknowledged there were a lot of things in the IPA settlement that don't have anything to do with this particular case, and that he wanted to use the IPA's documents to attack the DOC's history of treating mentally ill offenders. This criminal trial was not the proper forum to litigate a civil rights challenge to the way mentally ill individuals are treated in the DOC. The DOC was not on trial here, and the court properly refused to allow Allen to attempt to confuse the issue the jury was to decide. He had an opportunity to present the evidence, but he really couldn't present the evidence because that would confuse the jury and they didn't really need to see the evidence. So finally, any error was harmless. Given the nature of the evidence Allen was allowed to present and the lack of any coercive state action, the court can be confident that the IPA's lawsuit documents would have made no difference to either the trial court's ruling that the confessions were voluntary or to the jury's evaluation of the weight to give those confessions. The trial court made proper evidentiary rulings. Oops. Okay. The trial. Wait. Oh.
What happened?
Nothing. I lost my place. The trial court's evidentiary rulings were correct, and it did not deprive Allen of his right to present a defense. Trial judges are better at making evidentiary calls than appellate judges. Therefore, damn, Mr. Trial judges go to them better law schools, so they're better.
I don't know how the courts work, like at all. I don't know if it's a good idea to like straight up tell appellate judges like, "Hey, you guys are fucking dumb compared to trial. You
No,
guys
I
like
love
you guys
that.
fucking suck compared to like."
Hey, yeah, these guys are better at doing that. So
Yeah, hey, Gold knew her shit. Maybe sit this one out, okay?
mhm. Good night, fungi. Good night.
Good night, GLF.
BRB.
Okay, you want to read through or what's up?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God.
Do I
God.
scroll down?
No, you're good. I'm solo. I'll read and then they like yeah. Okay, we'll start at trial judges are better at making evidentiary calls than appellate judges. Therefore, trial courts are given wide deference in this area. In many cases, a court could admit or exclude evidence, and an appellate court won't meddle with that decision on appeal.
You guys.
What is that?
It's a fucking cheesecake.
Oh, it's
slice.
cheesecake? Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, sorry.
Well, you got to open it and show us. Oh, never mind. Okay. Evidentiary rulings are reviewed only for a manifest abuse of discretion. An erroneous evidentiary ruling is harmless if, given all the evidence in the case, the error's probable impact does not undermine confidence in the outcome. Federal constitutional errors must be harmless beyond a reasonable doubt, meaning that they did not contribute to the verdict.
Where
You
we
want to keep going? We're at the constitutional right. I can
Go
keep
ahead.
going if you want.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. The constitutional right to present a defense is not absolute. Defendants must comply with well-established rules of evidence to assure both fairness and reliability in the ascertainment of guilt and innocence. The right to present a defense trumps an evidentiary rule only when the rule is arbitrary or disproportionate to the purpose it is designed to serve. Evidence Rule 403 and hearsay rules do not unconstitutionally limit the right to present a defense. Okay. The trial court properly excluded inadmissible evidence. The investigatory sketch of Bridge Guy. Allen has waived this issue. No objection. The trial court granted the state's motion to eliminate to exclude the police sketch drawn from Blair's description of the man she saw on the bridge.
Can I say here briefly that I completely agree here that it's like pretty almost, I don't know the actual numbers, but I think it's pretty nationwide that sketches are not admissible in trials like ever. So it's a very hard argument to make.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I think, I don't know, the only problem I have with this is, what did Betsy say? Betsy said it was, I think it was her deposition. She said the sketch was as good as I can make it. And then she also agreed that it was a reliable depiction of what she saw. And then she said that the features she saw, I think the problem is like, these are two sketches. It's not just one sketch.
Well, there's like 5, right?
Well, yeah, there's I think the appellate court is arguing the 2.
Mm-hmm.
So the first BG sketch, the second one.
Okay.
The fact that Betsy had said, what'd she say? He looks heavier, he looks older, has facial hair, he's younger. I think that's the kind of separate argument.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Which again, I'm still with you. Like sketches, yeah, it's not.
I mean, but if they're typically admissible, then
right.
I don't know how you. I mean, I would argue that that's probably like could say like that was something to argue better at trial.
Or yeah, there could have been a million more other things to argue or object to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, were you there?
Oh, you're good. rulings on motions eliminated do not preserve errors for appeal. Allen did not attempt to introduce Blair's sketch at trial, so he has waived this issue. Waiver notwithstanding, Blair's police sketch was inadmissible. Allen sought to admit Blair's sketch as substantive evidence that Blair did not see Allen on the bridge. But the sketch was not relevant for this purpose because, as the trial court noted and Allen concedes, Blair did not make an eyewitness identification of Allen as the man on the bridge. Blair identified... Sorry, I'm going to stop there real quick and say, then why did they open this whole argument by saying Betsy Blair saw the man on the bridge, now known to be Allen?
Right.
What are we talking about here?
They're very picky and choosy.
Right. Okay. Blair identified Bridge Guy as the man she saw on the platform of the bridge. She did not identify Allen as Bridge Guy. Thank you. Allen's identification as Bridge Guy came from Allen identifying himself as the man Wilbur and Voorhees saw and identified as Bridge Guy and placing himself on the platform at the right time to be the man Blair saw there. Even though I believe, was it Voorhees who said she saw a man wearing all black?
Yes.
One of them. Further, any slight probative value was substantively outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice and confusion, because we wouldn't want the jury to be confused by the investigation that we did.
Right.
It was undisputed that composite sketches are used as an investigatory tool to generate leads and are not used to identify or exclude a suspect. Blair's sketch was an artist's interpretation of her description of Bridge Guy, and it was impossible to remove.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Uh-huh.
Did anyone hear that in the background?
I heard something barely.
It was, tell you what it was. It was my dad going, fuck. You know why? Because I just told him I'll probably take until 10.
You probably what?
Take until 10. Like I just told him how long it's going to be.
Oh.
Get over it, old man. Just kidding. Love you. Okay, go ahead.
All right, I'll try and quiet down, Pop. Sorry.
Mm-mm.
I stopped it, and it was impossible to remove artist bias. Like, great. The danger of unfair prejudice was twofold. One, the jury could misuse the unreliable sketch as substantive evidence. Wouldn't want to do that because, you know, they misuse unreliable screenshots of the Hoosier Harvest Store video. And two, the jury could misuse the sketch to exclude Allen when Blair had not purported to identify Allen. Allen's use of the sketch would have misled and confused the jury. The sketch was also an admissible hearsay. Blair's sketch was not a prior identification of Allen, so he could not use it as substantive evidence that she did not identify him. The rule is a means of positive identification shortly after perceiving the person. It would not apply to a prior identification of a different person. Good.
Go ahead.
Okay. Allen's new claim that the sketch was impeachment evidence is waived. He did not offer it for that reason or attempt to impeach Blair with it. Moreover, it would have been cumulative. On cross-examination, Blair testified that she had described the man she saw as a young, boyish man in his 20s to 30s of average height with brown, poofy hair and no visible facial hair or hat. The jury could compare this description with Bridge Guy and with Allen. Allen makes no persuasive argument that the sketch would have been any more impeaching than Blair's description of the person. And as argued in section B below, any error was harmless due to the overwhelming evidence of guilt. And
overwhelming.
I love the cycle that we're in where they say this about everything else that they've said that about. So they'll say like Sarah Carbaugh, you need to weigh the totality of her circumstances, but it wouldn't have even mattered even if it wasn't a part of the trial because there's so much overwhelming evidence of guilt, such as Rick's confessions. But even if Rick's confessions were unlawfully obtained, it doesn't matter because we would have known that he's the man on the bridge because Betsy Blair saw him. And even if Betsy Blair didn't see him, there's still an overwhelming evidence of guilt because Sarah Carbaugh saw him. And then it's like, now you have like Okay, fuck Sarah Carbaugh, he confessed. Well, fuck his confessions, we have Betsy Blair. Well, fuck Betsy Blair, we have Sarah Carbaugh. And we keep going around and around and around with this shit. And it drives me nuts. And then you pepper in like the ballistics, you pepper in
Today, Junior.
I know. Sergio would think I'm guilty of something. No, I'm kidding. But it's one of those things where it's like everything is just tautological. It's so annoying. Anyway, sorry. Tobin's testimony. Tobin's testimony was inadmissible because it was not relevant to an issue before the jury. Tool mark identification has at least two subdisciplines, metallurgy and firearms identification. ISP forensic firearms examiner Melissa Oberg testified that she used the Association of Firearm and Tool Mark Examiners AFTE tool mark identification methodology and opined that there would be three different tool mark areas of significant agreement to show that the cartridge at the scene had been cycled through Allen's Sig Sauer model P226 40 caliber handgun. Defense expert Eric Warren, also a forensic firearms examiner who uses the AFTE methodology, testified that he reviewed Oberg's report, did not agree with her process of comparing a cycled cartridge with a fired cartridge, and found insufficient documentation to support her opinion. This was the battle of the experts. Allen also proffered William Tobin, an expert in metallurgy. Tobin is an open critic of the AFTE and all firearms identification methodology. He believes the discipline is unreliable and should not be admitted in court. I kind of love that section where they're like, yeah, Tobin's like mean to
AFTE guys.
Yeah, he's like mean to Oberg, so like it totally makes sense that we wouldn't have him in here.
It's almost like a bunch of cases have been overturned because of that kind of evidence.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Am I putting people to sleep?
No.
Okay. It might not be me. It might be this brief. It might be this brief that's written by attorney generals who.
Why?
Attorneys general.
Are you talking about because everyone's talking about melatonin?
Yeah, I just I don't know. I'm kind of half read. All right, we'll get to it. We only have what 10 more pages, maybe.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. The trial court properly excluded this testimony because it was not relevant to an issue before the jury. Tobin's proffered testimony went to the reliability and admissibility of the firearms identification evidence. The trial court, not the jury, determines whether expert scientific testimony is admissible under Evidence Rule 702. Allen never offered Tobin's testimony to exclude the firearms evidence as based on unreliable scientific principles under Rule 702.
Can I say really quick that Free Ricky Bay said DB did a melatonin and a Vyvanse. I do a Vyvanse and a shit ton of diphenhydramine. Do you know what that is? Only my hardcore diphenhydramine users know how to say that word. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's Benadryl, essentially. It's
okay.
active ingredient.
You on that lean.
Yeah, I'm on that diphenhydramine.
Yeah, I just put all the pills we have in a bowl and I
my god.
I just fluff it, I flourish it a little with my hands.
And then you light the bottom on fire and then you inject them.
Yeah, into my neck. That's why no, I just take a handful and like whatever's there is there, you know. If I'm gonna stay up all night, so be it. If I'm gonna go to sleep for 3 days, so be it. Just kidding, I get fired for that. Okay. We talked about Tobin. Good old Tobin.
Good old
So I love how they say the trial court, not the jury, determines whether expert scientific testimony is admissible under Evidence Rule 702. Okay, I misread that. I thought they said the jury, not the trial court. I'm like, what? Anyways, got it wrong. Dyslexia. Because the trial court found the firearms identification evidence admissible, it was for the jury to determine the credibility of Oberg and Warren and assign weight to the evidence. Maybe we should have done that with Dr. Dawn Perlmutter as well. I don't know.
No nexus.
Yeah. Okay. Tobin's proffered testimony was not relevant to credibility. Tobin is not trained in forensic firearms identification, does not do firearms examinations, and did not examine the evidence. Tobin was not qualified to offer testimony against the weight or credibility of the forensic identification evidence. God, there's a lot of filler in this. Allen's claim that Tobin's testimony was offered to impeach Oberg's credibility is incorrect. Allen offered Tobin's criticism to discredit the accepted established methodology under the AFTE. Totally legit, totally objective. This criticism had nothing to do with Oberg's work, specifically in her credibility as an expert. Moreover, Allen extensively cross-examined Oberg, and he offered Warren's expert testimony to counter Oberg's opinion. Both Oberg and Warren acknowledged the criticism and ongoing debate in the firearms identification field by the President's Council on the Advancement of Science and Technology, the National Academy of Sciences. Thus, much of Tobin's proffered testimony criticizing firearms identification evidence was presented to the jury. For this reason, and due to the overwhelming evidence of guilt discussed in Section B below, any error in the exclusion of Tobin's testimony was harmless. Thoughts?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I got nothing.
Okay, here we go. Audio of Allen's movement videos in DOC. Allen presented 15 videos of his movement within the DOC during April through June 2023 to show how the environmental conditions affected his mental health, which impacted the credibility of his confessions. The trial court sustained the state's hearsay objection to the audio of Allen's statements, so the jury saw Allen but did not hear what he said during those movement periods outside of his cell. Only the video, not the audio, was relevant to present his environmental conditions.
That I have something to say about. That's bullshit. There's
Agree.
fucking testimony to the fact that you've got inmates shouting at him to kill himself and shit. How the fuck is not relevant? How?
What were they saying as they tased his hands? You know?
Like,
what about the comments like, yeah, you got a lot of shit on you, dude? That's crazy. Like, what the fuck?
how is the audio not relevant? That's the most I don't even know how you make that argument.
Well, we talked about that with Ausbrook, right?
Right.
Like the hearsay exception, but we're not focused on Allen's comments. We're focused on the things that were being said, or the loud verbal commands that were likely given.
We're not addressing what was going on the outside.
we're not saying he's going, oh my god, this is so terrible. I guess I should confess to a crime. That would obviously that would be removed.
Right.
Right. A defendant who does not testify during trial cannot introduce exculpatory statements made outside of court in order to enhance his credibility. Because the statements are self-serving, generally untrustworthy, and not subject to cross-examination. Allen also makes no argument to show the admissibility of other statements in the videos, although he clearly relies on those statements for the truth as well.
We only like his own statements when he's confessing to the crime. Otherwise, any of his own statements are hearsay and we don't give a fuck. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Further, Allen had adequate other means to impeach Dr. Wallace's testimony, including cross-examination and his own expert witnesses, but it would not impeach Dr. Wallace's testimony about Allen's presentation on a particular day with videos of him on different days, even if audio was presented to the jury, because psychosis is fluid. This evidence was thus unlikely to have an impeaching effect. The jury was able to view Allen's environmental conditions and his behavior in the movement videos from April 5th to June 20th, 2023, in light of his expert witnesses' testimony of his psychosis and delirium. Any error in the exclusion of this audio was harmless, as explained in Section B below. I'm going to step away for a quick second, so I'm going to pass the baton to you, and then I'll take it back if you want.
All right. Allen's... Sorry, I just heard weird shouting. Allen's other two phone calls on April 3rd, 2023. The state presented one jail call by Allen on April 3rd, 2023 at 5:14 a.m. over Allen's objection that two other phone calls that day at 3:12 a.m. and 8:45 a.m. also had to be admitted under Evidence Rule 106, the doctrine of completeness. The trial court's ruling that each call in full met the doctrine of completeness was correct. Allen cites no authority showing otherwise. One would argue that in general, when the other calls say something directly opposite of what the actually aired calls say, one would argue that goes to state of mind and whether you should hold any weight to the things he was saying. But we don't live in normal world here. The doctrine of completeness does not mean that once the state presents one full statement by a defendant, the defendant is entitled to put in any other statements he made at different times, except it was all within like the same however many hours. It's all showing different states of mind, different thoughts, different beliefs, all within the same few hours. See, original argument, blah, blah, blah. Evidence Rule 106 is limited by fairness and where distinct conversations are involved. Fairness does not require that the trial court allow admission of otherwise inadmissible hearsay. Regardless, any error was harmless as explained in Section B below. 5. Dr. Gracian's testimony that Allen's confessions were false. Dr. Gracian testified to the effects of solitary confinement, the symptoms of delirium, and that he saw Allen exhibit symptoms consistent with delirium and false memories. The trial court sustained the state's objection to Dr. Gracian's testimony that Allen's confessions were false. The witness could not testify to whether Allen's statements were consistent with the facts of the case because the witness did not know the facts. It was for the jury to decide if Allen's confessions were false. None of the 3 bases Allen argues for admission were offered below, so he has waived these arguments. The only basis offered below was that Dr. Gracian knew the facts because he had reviewed all kinds of stuff. But this would be an insufficient foundation for an opinion. Further, Evidence Rule 704 provides that witnesses may not testify to opinions concerning intent, guilt, or innocence in a criminal case, the truth or falsity of allegations, whether a witness has testified truthfully, or legal conclusions. That's funny because like a page up was the ISP trooper opined that after 700 calls, he could identify that the bridge guy voice is Richard Allen's voice.
Yeah, and I'll give credit to Brother Counsel, dude. Check out Brother Counsel. We love Brother Counsel. But he makes a good point here where he goes, well, what about the learned guards that said he was faking psychosis? Like, where does that come into play? You know what I mean?
Allen sought to present testimony from Dr. Gracian that Allen's statements and his confessions were false, which was impermissible under the rule. Dr. Gracian testified that Allen's behavior and statements were consistent with delirium, so he was not denied an opportunity to present this evidence. Allen's combination of the 3 alleged errors, all of which centered on the omission of his own statements, to claim a systemic violation of due process is unpersuasive. Allen fully and completely described the environmental, physical, and mental health conditions leading up to his confessions, as well as expert testimony on both the effects of Allen's confinement and his mental health. But neither Allen nor the state could present opinion evidence that Allen's confessions were true or false. That is not an unconstitutional infringement on the right to present a defense. How about you go?
Sounds good?
Yep.
As discussions, section B below. Any error was also harmless. Again, sorry, before I go on, the attorneys general writing this brief I swear to God, they've been in relationships before where like later on down the line, their significant other found out that they hooked up with someone and the response was like, well, I didn't really cheat on you because we were on a break technically.
Oh yeah.
So like those are these, this is the type of argument. It's the vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. Okay. As discussion section B below, any error was also harmless. Perlmutter's testimony that the murderers were ritualistic. This pisses me off. Guys, I know. I'm big on the Odinism angle. The trial court properly.
There was no reason to not admit this.
Yeah,
sorry.
Because it's not, from what we understand from the lawyers, it's not an admissibility issue. It's a weight issue, which would go to the jury. Right.
The triers of the facts.
I love your chat right now.
Dude, they're
talking about AI boyfriends marrying brother.
And he's like, I'm married, but I'm making an AI boyfriend to fulfill my emotional needs.
Well, therapy's also there, Candy.
Oh God.
Too.
I have been thinking a lot about just never ever being in a relationship ever again.
Well, I think you're in a phase where like your pendulum swung to the other end, where like originally maybe you were super trusting before and like it didn't work out. So we're Libras, right? You and me. Once you find that balance, it's gonna be glorious. I got faith. You'll find a good dude. Find a good dude.
These days.
It's a matter of when, not if.
Hopefully, while I still look okay.
You know what happened to me? I literally, and again, nothing's ever sure in life. So, but the moment I met my girlfriend now, I was at a point where I'm like, I'm just not gonna try anymore. Well, I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna try to like pursue. I'm not gonna try to like, the apps were like killing my mental health, because it's just
Did you use apps?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, how many dates have you gone on from dating from?
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
For all the fellas listening, for all my brothers in the chat, grow a beard, go up a tax bracket, and move to Columbus, Ohio. It will do numbers for your love life.
California 5, Columbus, Ohio 10.
So I moved out to Philly for work. I was there for like the year prior to COVID, and like I went on a couple dates, and then I was seeing this girl for a few months, and she was cool. She was awesome. Ironically enough, her name was Erica.
Oh.
And that's since been ruined for me. But no, and then like I moved to Columbus, and it's like you get all the wonderful experiences of a single guy with like the burden of like, if you want a future, that's probably just not going to happen.
Oh, shit.
So it's, you're just like.
Wait, so did you meet your girlfriend on a dating app?
No. We met completely separate from that. So
Where did you guys meet out in the wild?
No, we met at work.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I left the company that I was at, and she stayed, and then we decided to we just started like dating, started going out. So, but we had known each other for like 2-3 years before we started dating.
Oh.
And so then I left, and then like one day we like got drinks together, and then like after that I was like, why don't we just like do like it's kind of like this like. What do you think? Like a guy like me and a girl like you would do like an actual like a dinner. What do you what do you think? And she was like, yeah, sure. And then like after that, we just started dating, and it was it was a great thing. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. You just I some of the most successful stories I hear is like in my friend group when people meet through mutual friends.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't have any fucking friends anymore. Like I don't talk to nobody.
I'm telling you, like I'm not gonna try and like download shitty advice, because like my dating history has been majority, like kind of like this again, you know, like you're like, fuck, okay.
I met my last boyfriend in rehab.
At that listen, if it's two people that are right for it and it's a right thing, it could end up being a great thing, you know. But like, you know, you went to rehab and made yourself better from it. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, right? Because you're 4 years out. What a wonderful 4 years.
Yeah.
What a great, like, I'm very happy because I'm guessing I would probably have never met you if you were still in the condition that you were in. Like, it's I you know, we have you as a friend because of the decisions that you made for yourself, right? That's a wonderful thing.
You were so good at pep talks.
Oh yeah, I can get you run through a brick wall.
Wow.
Anyone. But I'm an ugly guy. I got to be good with words.
No, you're not.
I'm kidding. But listen, I'm guessing he didn't. I'm guessing he wasn't in. I'm guessing he was probably mandated to be in rehab. Am I wrong, or was he like initially trying to like?
No, but he's just got a mean case of PTSD that he can't quit.
Well, we don't got to talk about that, but yeah.
Anyway,
Listen. Hold on. What's chat saying? Because chat's smarter than me. Here we go. All eyes. I got married for the after thing. It was still considered super taboo for people to meet online at all. Yep. I've met couples who have like, until they get to know me better, and like me and my girlfriend, then they'll go, oh yeah, by the way, we totally met on Tinder. And it's like, why are you? Don't hide away from that. You know, it's a great thing.
Yeah. Woman says, when I went to rehab, the monks were trying to find Mr. Fucking stay sober. I argue I was doing both. I argue I was in fact doing both because I did manage to eventually stay sober a lot more often than the man I met. So
yeah, I'm not gonna try to explain like the mindset of men. That's a disgustingly impossible thing to explore.
But also,
right?
like, you're bored. Like, it's like, you want to have some fun. Who cares? Yeah. Also, like, I don't know. I'm find me a guy who wasn't at a funeral going, maybe her, you know, like maybe I should go say hi and just see what happens. You know, here's the thing: funerals are typically relatives, Keith. Fucking break.
I don't know. I think like I'll never knock anyone on how they met, as long as you meet and it's a great story. Even if it's a boring story, whatever, that's great, you know. Right. Sometimes it's just the most boring, simple thing. You know. Yep. I have a friend. He met his wife playing video games during COVID.
Nice. And a lot of people met during COVID, man.
They like linked up online. They were talking, whatever, and then like once all the restrictions were lifted, he like flew out to see her and stuff.
Oh, that's cute.
And of course, I was like, share your location, man, so I know you're safe. He's like, dude, shut up. You're such a bitch. Like,
that's so cute.
Oh my God, excuse me for caring, dude. He's like, yeah, never say that to me ever again. But it was great. It's a great thing. I don't know. It's just it's and you know, again, I'm not knocking like meeting someone from that in that regard. What I'm saying is like, just whatever gets you to the person you want to be with, and it's as long as it's a healthy fucking relationship. Who cares how you met?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
No, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
All right. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Were we at trial court?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. Trial court probably excluded Perlmutter's testimony opining this as a ritual killing, proffered in support of Allen's theory that this was a ritual killing committed by Odinus. Expert opinion testimony is admissible only when it will help the trier of fact. Third-party motive evidence must establish more than a speculative connection to the crime to be admissible. Well, I've got news for you, Todd. It did. Elvis Fields asked a cop if he'd be in trouble if they found out he spit on 2 girls. And his sister passed a lie detector test saying he was trying to give her a blue jacket very close to the day after the murders. And that he also said he was in a lot of trouble. Elvis Fields gave it up and you threw it away because the meth flowing through your county is much more important than justice. Third party motive evidence must establish more than a speculative connection to the crime to be admissible. Exclusion of expert at bench trial was harmless because his proffered testimony was speculative. Perlmutter's opinion that this was a ritual killing, an opinion she reached before seeing any evidence in the case, was too speculative to be admissible as a third-party motive evidence. It was a motive in search of a suspect, as discussed. Subsection below, no evidence connected to any Odinist, no evidence connected to any Odinist to the murders or placed them at the crime scene. It was speculative motive. There is no history of ritual human sacrifice in Odinism, and according to an Odinist, the sacrifice of children would be contrary to the principles of the religion.
That's not true. That there's
it's not true, dude. Okay, the other thing, Perlmutter's opinion that this was a ritual killing, an opinion she reached before seeing any evidence in this case. They were talking about her testimony where she went, McClellan asked her if she had been on court TV and said it looks like a ritualistic killing, in my opinion. What they fail to mention is that, like, I think in 2024, like a few months before the trial, she saw the crime scene and she was still able to make a judgment from that. So it's just a low, I think it's an under the belt thing to say an opinion she reached before seeing any evidence in the case, because it's like she eventually saw, I'm sorry, Mom, I'll shut the fuck up.
That's not what she doesn't mean.
I know. An opinion she reached before seeing any evidence in the case, it's like, well, she still saw evidence that she didn't change her mind, unlike someone we know, geriatric Dr. Roland Core, after he changed his second diaper, changed his opinion that it was probably a box cutter.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
I like how it says Perlmutter is not an expert on Odinism. However, our ISP trooper, who listened to 700 audio calls, is an expert on audio identification.
Yep. Our Odinist prison guards are experts in psychosis.
And feigning.
Yep. Steve Mullins is an expert in
fucking shut up.
Vehicle CCTV identification. You know what Mullins not an expert in? Using a fucking printer. Because he didn't print the part where Rick parked on the map. Anyways, sorry. I love this part where they say there's no historical ritual human sacrifice in Odinism, and according to an Odinist, the sacrifice of children would be contrary to the principles of the religion. And then the next sentence they say, even Perlmutter acknowledged that apart from this case, she had knowledge of only one other Odinist ritual killing.
Wait, yeah. Constant
They're-
back and forth.
They're like, dude, Odinism, human sacrifice, doesn't exist at all. You know how we know?
Time.
Perlmutter told us that it happened only once.
So it's not a thing.
Yeah.
However, did we talk about God yet? Because
right.
Can we bring back up his love of God and religion?
Not to mention Stacy also mentioned in the original appellate brief, we're not talking about textbook regular Odinism. We're talking about someone's bastardized interpretation of it. That's a very important thing.
Right. Anyone can fucking go nuts and make some perversion and offshoot fucking weird shit. People could be obsessed with Barbies and make some weird ass fucking Barbie obsessed crime scene.
Absolutely. That the case remained an open investigation with no confirmation of a perpetrator or motive, which means she actually could not identify any other example of an Odinist ritual killing. Perlmutter also acknowledged that outdoor killings committed with a knife are not necessarily ritual killings. I believe she said it's the interpretation of the actual killer, but I could be wrong. And that would also be supported in the video footage we've seen of Patrick Westphal literally conducting a fucking ritual outside in the woods. And it was a motive based on inaccuracies with respect to the alleged symbolism at the crime scene. There was no F in blood on the tree. That was a misapprehension caused by the reddish tints. That is misapprehension.
Caused by our lead detective referencing an F being on the tree multiple times.
Right. Yep.
So that weird voice again out of nowhere.
It's like Angel Ausbrook echo, like
Yeah.
actually. By the reddish tints in the tree bark. When a chemical was applied that turned the blood white, it was apparent there was no second horizontal line necessary to form an F. The blood formed only an upside down L, and neither Perlmutter nor Allen have ever contended that an upside down L is a rune or Odinist symbol. The blood patterns on the bodies and on the ground were inconsistent with the bodies having been hung upside down. I'm going to read that again. The blood patterns on the bodies and on the ground were inconsistent with the bodies having been hung upside down.
Except on their neck and face.
Not Abby. You can't make that argument for Abby. The argument for Abby is that she was hung upside down. Right?
Just the blood.
Yeah. In the upward stream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's fucking gaslight. As Odin is typically depicted, the sticks on the bodies were fundamentally ambiguous.
Fundamentally ambiguous.
You know who's fundamentally ambiguous? Chrissy Noam's husband until recently.
But bringing it to current events, baby.
All right, sorry.
No, I love it.
Professor Turco found it equally plausible they were not attempted runes at all and could offer only conjecture as to their meaning if it was assumed arguendo that they were intended to be runes, as the arrangement of the sticks did not in any obvious way spell a word.
It's almost like bind runes can't be interpreted because they're individual.
Yeah, well, and also this is just flat out like a lie because Turco said it was a given that they were Germanic runic scripts. So that's just that's a straight up fucking lie. Dude.
They better go back to that testimony on the reply. It's too bad they don't listen to any online speculation about the case they're covering.
Yeah, call me.
It's
just
too bad
kidding.
They just hate
call
the
Yellow
internet
Jacket.
and
Don't
crazy internet web sleuth people.
Call All Eyes. Don't call me, please.
Yeah.
Anyways. As seen in the crime scene photographs, the sticks were much less suggestive of runes than in the police sketch he was initially shown. With respect to the sticks on LG, even Perlmutter could say only that she believed they had specific meaning to the offender. She could not identify any rune or symbol they purportedly formed, even though she literally says it's a bind rune in her testimony. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, the BAU, was unable to verify or find support for the theory this was an Odinist killing, determining that neither the blood on the tree nor the sticks on the bodies clearly depict, capture, or present known aspects of Odinism or its symbol.
Where that at?
What's up?
Where's that at? Where did the BAU say that?
Was it in that email? The email that Unified Command got?
No, it must
from
be
What's His Nuts? He's got like a really basic name.
Must be something we don't have access to.
Yeah. Particularly in the absence of any evidence placing any Odinist at the crime scene. or directly connecting one to the crime, the trial court acted well within its discretion in declining to admit evidence of a speculative alternative motive that would have confused the issues, turning the trial into a sideshow debate over disputed claims of Odinic symbology and distracted the jury from the issue before it, namely whether the evidence proved Allen committed these murders. That is especially true because motive was not a basis through which the state purported to identify Allen as a perpetrator. Because motive was not a significant factor in the proof of guilt, the probative value of evidence in an alternative motive was correspondingly low and easily outweighed by the dangers of confusing the issues and misleading the jury. Because God forbid we confuse the jury by saying that Unified Command did the most fuck-ass investigation we've ever seen in our lives.
No, God forbid we confuse the jury by giving them multiple scenarios.
Oh, you mean the totality of the circumstances?
Yes, the totality of the multitude of explanations. There
That
can
would-
only be one.
That'd be
Like
tough. Yeah.
Highlander.
Dude, please don't convince my jury into thinking anything else other than a man walked a trail.
Our
one day.
theory is the only thing that evidence exists for.
Yeah. You know who probably confused the jury the most? Sarah fucking Carball.
It was a tan jacket, but then it was like a little blue because the blood turned to blue.
She was like, yeah, whatever I saw, guy. Do you want me to demonstrate how he walked? Please, I'm begging you. I want
I
to
ran him
walk
over
I want to
too.
walk like this. Please let me walk like this in front of the court.
I ran him over too. I actually killed the real killer, but that's why I have to lie.
Yeah. I committed vehicular manslaughter, but he was walking like this. He was walking like, I have to show you. Diener's like, dude, we practice this, Sarah. Fucking chill. I'll let you know when I want you to walk like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I heard the most random rumor that Sarah Carball is a drunk. I don't know where it came from, but I'm just trying to imagine if that's true. And she's literally talking about what she saw. She was driving by, bitch. What? You don't know what you saw.
Yeah, they should have breathalyzed her before she got on the stand. What the fuck, dude? Are you for real right now?
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing her driving hella drunk. Oh my god, help me.
I just love, like, I know you guys find a lot of my shit funny. The one I'm most proud of is me saying that Sarah Carball said he was tan and muddy, and then she hit him with her car and then said he was blue and bloody. That's my favorite bit.
Good job.
So stupid. Oh yeah. But because motive was not a significant factor in the proof of guilt, the probative value of evidence and an alternative motive was correspondingly low and easily outweighed. Sorry, I already read that. Let's get to evidence of two third-party suspects. Is that where we're at? The trial court probably excluded Allen's proffered alternate suspect evidence pertaining to Brad Holder and Patrick Westfall. Allen was permitted to present evidence challenging the quality of the police investigation and their long-term suspicion that more than one individual had been involved in the crime. But the court excluded his specific third-party suspect evidence because Allen failed to establish any nexus between those individuals and the crimes, even though there was significantly more of a nexus between those two people that were just mentioned.
Even though Brad Holder's son was dating a victim.
Yep, and I am willing to bet the reply in this is going to feature Stacy going, "Did you not read me saying that Logan Holder sent Brad Holder a text that said she's missing? Did you guys just skip over that part?"
Where is that acknowledgement, please? Because I need to know what the fuck the response was.
Like, I love how they skirted over this, and so did fucking Brett Talley when he was swallowing Todd Rakita whole on his.
We're gonna pretend that doesn't
podcast.
exist.
Sorry, it pisses me off.
The just not acknowledgement of it at all makes me.
This is written like one of his ghost stories.
To it. There's
Okay, I'm
more
done.
to it.
I'm done. Sorry. Oh yeah, Nexus. I don't know. I love how they're like, oh, Brad Holder punched out, even though we didn't review video to validate that someone else might have punched him out.
Yeah.
I Anyways, to be admissible, evidence must be relevant. It must tend to make a fact of consequence more or less probable than it would otherwise be. Evidence which tends to show that someone else committed the crime logically makes it less probable that the defendant committed the crime and thus meets the definition of relevance in Rule 401. Relevant evidence may be excluded if its probative value is outweighed by unfair prejudice, confusion of issues, or the potential to mislead the jury. Third-party suspect evidence is excludable under Rule 403 unless the defendant shows some connection between the third party and the crime. What do you think?
Almost like pictures on his Facebook that look exactly like the crime scene.
Or the bind rune on his fucking hand that was over top of Abigail's body.
That's subjective, though. And also, do you have the full screenshot? I'm not literally asking you. It's Tom Webster. I've never actually seen like a full screenshot with like the web address at the top.
I've never seen Betsy Blair in the Delphi Library bathroom.
Betsy Blair doesn't know. Listen, Betsy Blair doesn't know what cars look like. However, what she does know. Oh God.
Okay. I love that he thinks that like Rick was hiding behind the
pole vaulted.
What an idiot. Okay.
And also the direction on the phone doesn't make sense because they went through the roof, down the hill, and through the roof.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense.
Oh my God, I forgot to mention that when everyone was asking Amy G. She's the she's the co-founder of the cold shock theory.
Oh yeah.
that we all know and love. The air is warmer than the ground. Wait, or is it the ground's warmer than the air? Okay.
Listen, the phone was so cold, and then when it wasn't, it just woke it up. Just woke that phone right up, and it said, "Good morning. Let me download some app data."
Almost like she got an email from Tobles. Please say this on your next live. Thank you.
Like you.
we appreciate all the hard work you're doing for us right now.
Oh good. Oh God.
Yeah, Sarah Carbaugh saw a comet. And if you guys have access to the basic open source intel, I highly recommend you do a little bit of a history search on where Elvis Fields used to live, and maybe just maybe pull up those places on Google Maps and see what's parked in the fucking driveway.
Is it a PT Cruiser?
It's not. It's a car that's very similar to a Ford Comet. Also, sorry, huge segue. Rod Abrams.
Oh, are we somewhere with that now?
The car that I know he's too short to be bridge guy.
No, I'm not.
I get it. All right.
No, I just love that this is your angle. This is
where's Luke when you need him?
Yeah.
I love how I sent that to Luke and he goes, Rod Abrams is a spinner, dude. He's like, Rod Abrams is too short.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Anyways, before Rod Abrams threatened someone with a knife and swung it near the neck in the woods, he jumped on top of a vehicle that looks very similar to a Comet and stomped on the windshield before he got arrested behind a Longhorn Steakhouse in Kissimmee, Florida. Okay, right. Sorry. Third-party suspect evidence is excludable under Rule 403 unless the defendant shows some connection between third party and the crime. The police investigated Holder and Westfall and never found any evidence connecting them or any alleged odious conspirator.
Okay, I would argue when there's literal testimony of them saying they couldn't get anywhere with Westfall, that you can't argue that they've fully investigated Westfall.
No, you couldn't.
Even if there are multiple ways to investigate someone, yes, they did take his phone, and yes, it was multiple years later and had nothing on it.
Right.
But like, that's a lot different than fully investigating someone. You have no idea. He has no alibi. It's like, come on.
Absolutely. I not to mention where Libby's phone pings.
Right. Where should we know her to be?
I don't know.
And there's a connection between him and her mom? That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a yellow tent on the left side of Derek German's house. I doubt it's for storage. I mean, we get like, there's just so much that wasn't looked into. That's the point of it. I'm not making accusations. We're saying allegedly, but Jesus, the amount of like blind eye turning to blatantly obvious shit, only for them to turn around and go, here's this seemingly innocent dude.
I thought we wasted $1 million on that river search, guys, but here, look, we found someone.
All right. Holder and Westfall were investigated, never found any evidence tying them to the murders or placing them at the High Bridge Trail that afternoon. And Allen's proffered evidence amounting largely to evidence that they were adherents of Odinism and that sticks placed on the girls' bodies were purportedly in configurations similar to runes.
Purportedly.
Yeah, right. On Holder's social media. Listen, like I sure you could maybe make the argument that like it was coincidence. Like I post a picture of like a stack of beer cans and that ends up on some dead Sally in the alley somewhere. And maybe that was just a huge coincidence, right? Mm-hmm. It also could be that there's something fucking going on there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's the same thing as like they're saying, well, there could be something going on. Rick was at the trails that day. It's like it also could be that a guy just wanted to walk the fucking trails and didn't want to be at a party with his whole family who he's probably annoyed with. He's tired from working as a CVS manager. You know about that just as much as I do.
Retail management is the worst job.
It's the worst.
And it's so fucking hard. It's not easy.
I love who was it that said that like Rick had sought out the patties while they were in the store and walked up to them.
Yeah.
And like,
he was good at his job.
Yeah. You know what I said when I heard that? I go, no. He got a corporate visit the week before, and they were like, why are our surveys dog shit right now, dude? You gotta engage with people.
Free, good night, free.
Okay, sorry. Allen's proffered evidence amounted largely evidence that they were adherents of Odinism. Configuration similar to runes on Holder's social media falls far short of creating a non-speculative connection to the crime. That's just bullshit.
That's not non-speculative. It looks identical.
Yep, it is. Holder had a confirmed alibi that made it impossible for him to have kidnapped or murdered the girls shortly after 2 p.m. on February 13, 2017. Opportunity is the one logically essential type of evidence a defendant must produce in order to have any chance of admitting third-party suspect evidence. Did they quote a book here? Is this like a... I think they quoted like a book.
I don't know.
Which is like fucking lame.
I don't read.
Yeah, what a bunch of nerds. When he was interviewed by police on February 17, 2017, Holder said he was at work on February 13th and then went to his gym in Logansport where he lived. Holder worked at a landfill in Buffalo, Indiana. His work records confirmed that he was at work on February 13th from 4:55 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. And his gym records show that he checked in there at 4:08 p.m. on February 13th, where his testosterone was through the roof, baby.
Yeah.
The operations. Oh, by the way, they never even identified in here that literally anybody could have punched.
Keep reading. All
right, sorry. The operations clerk for the landfill, the only person who could make changes to the electronic time records, confirmed that she had not changed Holder's record, and she confirmed that it would not be possible for him to be absent while this time card showed that he was present.
Unless that's a careful way of not including what you were just gonna say.
Yeah. By the way, we had the opportunity to validate this on video fucking footage and just chose not to, which is just another problem.
And she also confirmed, which they don't elaborate on, that the tags have people's names on them, and if you wanted to go over there and grab someone else's tag, you absolutely could.
Yeah. First of all, good night, Brian.
And also, how many people clock in and out for friends at work? Anybody? Everybody? Okay, just checking.
Time clock fraud's serious and it's real. I can understand if it was like a biometric thing, like that would be tough, but it wouldn't be impossible. This is just like a code. It was probably a code. All right. Yeah, I read that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Only a small number of people work each shift, and it would be immediately noticed if someone was absent or left early, or if a stranger was there. The equipment ran continuously, and if one person ceased working, it would affect the entire operation. Specialized training was needed to operate the equipment, further precluding the possibility that Holder could have sent someone to take his place at work that day. Are they suggesting that Brad Holder was forklift certified?
Yeah, but wasn't most people around there?
Oh
my God, are you Brad Holder? Oh my God, is that your real identity?
Does this hat trigger you or whatever?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was spot on. Can you
we've already established this. I'm Andy Baldwin trying to look like Brad Holder. Okay, we've talked about this a million times.
Can you please do that voice again? Holy shit.
Does this hat trigger you?
Oh my God. It's so good.
What do you mean she's missing? She's down by the creek. Tell them they're wrong.
Stop.
Elvis, I sent you fucking pictures on how to do this. You fucked it up.
Oh, it's so good. That's my number one favorite Keith bit now. Holy shit.
Yeah. It beats the Vinnie Politan.
Look, even all eyes, she was just listening and she heard that shit and she said, I need to type LMAO.
Does it?
My fucking face hurts.
Tell Erica she can't get paid. Pat and I had a falling out. Ay.
Does this hat trigger you?
God, I hate that motherfucker.
Do it.
No, I hate. Listen, if you guys didn't know who I am, I could have infiltrated the Odinist group. All right, I fit the profile. I like not my looks, but aesthetically only. I could not disagree with their fucking beliefs anymore. Okay, I gotta clarify that. Jesus, but yeah, we've already established. I look like Andy Baldwin trying to look like Brad Holder. Like if Andy was like, oh, I got to demonstrate this in court for everyone, and then he does like a Brad Holder, that's me.
Oh my God. We all know this. This is so good. Okay.
Yeah, there's something about like, white dudes losing all their hair, but like somehow keeping a beard, and that makes them racist. And I survived that. I survived that plague. All right, sorry. Brad Holder was forklift certified, and okay. because Holder could not have committed the crimes, no evidence about his Odinism or his social media could have any tendency to decrease the probability that Allen committed the crimes. What if that's so fucking stupid? Without Holder, the theorized connection to Westfall necessarily fails. It was a central tenet of Allen's ritual killing theory that the crimes were not committed by one person. He never contended below that Westfall committed the crime by himself. Westfall's alibi that he was with his son that afternoon was corroborated by his son.
Oh! Which one?
Oh,
Which son?
was it the one that threatened to kill a teenage girl?
Yep.
Recently? Okay. Anyways.
And where were they? Where were they? Home? That's not an alibi usually when you're at home.
Yeah, my dad didn't do anything, dude. He was at the house where he originally met Abby and Libby. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I wonder, dude. I know this sounds like really shitty to say, but if we like find a silver lining out of all the terrible things that have happened in this case, I wonder if Rick will ever realize like how many people he brought together just by like the way all of this shit happened. I'm sure Doug Carter would take credit for it, but
yeah.
I don't know.
No,
it's just
for
like,
sure. Yeah, because there's been a million true crime cases that I've followed and been interested in, but I've never been like in a created community, you know.
Yeah. I don't think I'd ever like talk to Luke about like how funny AI is.
Right.
If it wasn't for Rick, you know? Like it's just one of those things where it's like the planet.
The planet. What's the planet got to do with it?
Okay. Did you? I know we talked about the past. Were you ever around for the Mind Shock videos? Because they were gold.
I've only seen anything TV is played on Anja's streams.
He would have bitten really hard on Reese Davis coming out of retirement to do a prof episode because he was big on Keegan Kline. I think we all were at the time.
Favorite.
Yeah, like dude, when Murder Sheet did like the 3-part hit piece on Tony, and then they talked about the Wabash River search, that I honestly think a lot of people did devious Mind Shock. That would be.
Hi, Beer Man. Well, thanks for subscribing.
Beer Man, what do you got tonight? I got Voodoo Ranger.
Welcome to the community.
Welcome. All right, I'm done yapping. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, go. I got 30 minutes before my old man.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, someone said, "Are y'all related to Bob and Ellie?" I wish.
I'm going to take that as just good feedback that I need to stop yapping so much. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, that's not what that was. Let's stop self-internalizing.
I'm kidding. All right. Without Holder, the theorized connection to Westfall necessarily fails. It was a central tenet of Alan's ritual killing theory that the crimes were not committed by one person. He never contended below that Westfall committed the crimes by himself. Westfall's alibi. Okay, we already went through all this. Sorry. Holder's ex-wife's statements that Holder said Westfall murdered AW or was involved in the murder. Statements Holder denied making were inadmissible hearsay. Apart from that, Alan points to nothing other than the fact that Westfall was an Odinist. Well, it was hearsay because we weren't even allowed to have a Frank's hearing. So
Right.
it's kind of, again, we're at this argument where we go back to things. At best, this is weak, speculative motive evidence predicated on a speculative and inaccurate reading of the crime scene. This speculative theorizing, lacking any admissible evidence directly connecting either man to the crimes, does not rise to the level of inadmissible third-party evidence. Let's see here. I'm just not going to read all the case law examples. I
know it's a lot.
All right, we're going down to page 85. Harmless error. Any of these alleged errors, individually or collectively, is harmless given the power independent evidence of guilt. The timeline and eyewitness evidence, including Alan's initial statements to police, creates an overwhelming certainty that Alan was Bridge Guy and thus the murderer, because we've established that Bridge Guy's a murderer somehow. Alan admitted he parked near the Freedom Bridge. He did not.
No, sorry. Actually, technically, yes, he did, but not that. That's
yeah, it's on the other side.
Yeah.
He parked where the now Miller Head Trail Park is. Parking lot. Alan admitted he parked near the Freedom Bridge entrance and began walking the trail at about 1:30, which was corroborated by the surveillance video capturing a car matching the appearance of his Focus driving towards the Freedom Bridge entrance at 1:20.
That's a lot of words. What?
That's a lot of like.
Corroborated by the surveillance video capturing a car matching the appearance of his Focus driving towards. Okay.
Why are they mentioning video when the only thing that was submitted in the trial was screenshots?
Yeah, what video?
He admitted he was wearing a dark Carhartt jacket with a hood, blue jeans, either tennis or work boots, and had a hat with him. He actually mentioned he was wearing a black zip-up, which matched clothing worn by Bridge Guy. Allen identified himself as it matched the clothing worn by Bridge Guy and every other Midwest boomer in Indiana. Allen identified himself as the man who walked past the Wilbur Voorhees group on the trail around 1:30 p.m. Wilbur and Voorhees both immediately recognized the picture of Bridge Guy as the man who had walked past them. Allen also admitted that when he reached the high bridge, he walked out to the first platform and stayed there for a few minutes. Blair entered the trail at the Mirror's entrance at or just after 1:46 p.m. And when she reached the high bridge, she saw a man on the platform who she immediately recognized as Bridge Guy. Neither Blair, Wilbur, nor Voorhees saw anyone else on the trail who could have been Bridge Guy, and Allen acknowledged seeing no one else who could have been Bridge Guy. As she walked back towards the entrance, Blair passed AW and
Because they were there at different times. Sorry.
Yep, absolutely. That's why Rick didn't see Bridge Guy, because he wasn't there at the same fucking time as Bridge Guy. Ugh! Blair passed AW and LG on their way to High Bridge, and by 2:13 p.m., the man Blair, Wilbur, and Voorhees saw, the man Allen had effectively identified himself as being, even though he didn't, was following AW and LG across the High Bridge.
Effectively identified. Not he had identified himself. Effectively identified. He like kind of scored.
I would love for them to identify what an ineffective identification is.
Ineffective assistance of identification. Go ahead.
Well, we'll move. By 2:32 p.m., LG's phone had stopped moving, and by 3:11 p.m., LG was not answering the phone when her father called, who effectively got her killed, and she and AW had failed to meet him when he arrived to pick them up. Shortly before 4 p.m., Car Boss saw a man she recognized as Bridge Guy walking westbound on CR 300 North, because that totally makes sense to do after you kill two girls. This is a walk down a road toward where Allen had admitted he had parked his car. Yep, park right by the Hoosier Heartland Highway and wave at everyone as you're muddy and bloody. His clothes were covered in mud and fresh blood spatter. Given Allen's admission, placing him on the trail and on the High Bridge platform at the right times to be the man seen by Blair, Wilbur, and Voorhees, there's certainty that the man they saw, Bridge Guy, the absence of anyone else on the trail who could have been Allen or Bridge Guy, and the tight timeline, this combined evidence created a connection to the abduction and murders. The only reasonable conclusion to be drawn was that Allen was Bridge Guy, the person who murdered AW and LG. Other evidence corroborated this conclusion. The 40 caliber cartridge found by the girls' bodies was forensically matched as having been cycled through Allen's 40 caliber handgun.
Wrong.
Allen, absolutely. I think we could say objectively wrong to that subjective analysis. Allen had identical unfired. Allen had an identical unfired cartridge. There you go, Keith. The only piece of Winchester ammunition found in his house. Again, wrong, in a keepsake box. Allen had no possible innocent explanation for how a cartridge that had been in his gun could have ended up at the murder scene. Neither did the state. Bridge Guy had a gun and used it to compel AW and LG to go down the hill. An ISP trooper had listened to over 700 of Allen's phone calls, opined that it was Allen's voice heard on the video saying down the hill. Although Allen had 12 old cell phones, but
they literally said all this already.
I think they're treating it like an essay where like this is like your concluding statement. It's stupid. It's like, I think they're saying like, this is them appealing to the appellate court saying like, weigh the totality of like what we just told you.
Right.
Although Allen had 12 cell phones in the bedroom closet, he did not have the cell phone he had told police with him on the trail in 2017, creating a reasonable inference that he destroyed the phone because he knew it contained evidence of guilt, even though we don't have evidence of him destroying the phone at all. Stupid fucks.
And we have the data of the phone. Okay.
And he volunteered it to Doolin in 2017 when it would have been fresh, that everything that they needed to have on him from an evidentiary standpoint was in that phone at the time that he gave it to Doolin, and Doolin still did not find Richard Allen to be a viable suspect in this case.
But they sent the phone IMEID info.
Yeah, but we emailed Stacy and told her, have you thought about the MEID? Alan also displayed consciousness of guilt by lying to police. Okay, I'm not going to... This was just him talking about the 1:30 to 3:30 versus him on video saying that he said from 1 to 3:30. That's not a lie. That's Dan Doolan and whoever took the report to Holman who fucking approved it. Yeah, well, and it's also like the original report was for a Rick Whiteman, so it's like there's reason to believe that an error was made. And also, again, I will say Ali Mata made this point that they said, and multiple people did, but Ali just recently, in regards to this appellee brief, it was a between 1:30 and 3:30, not during, not from 1:30, not arriving at 1:30 and leaving at 3:30. It was between 1:30 and 3:30. Alan confessed killing AW and LG multiple times. He explained that he was frightened by a van driving past, causing him to abort the intended rapes and kill the girls. The detail only the killer would know that was corroborated by Weber's testimony that he arrived home from work in his van shortly after.
Except that we lied about the fucking time that he arrived, and they were supposed to be dead at 2:32.
Also, how can Weber corroborate that he intended to rape the girls? Like, Weber didn't hear what he was saying.
Yeah.
That wasn't on Libby's video. That was only in the fucking bullshit fabricated confession from Rick. Sorry, I'm like cussing like it just drives me insane. The idea that someone thinks they can do this to another human being.
The evidence of guilt was conclusive and irrefutable. Fuck you. You're embarrassing.
It's just like, how do you let this sit on your soul, man? Moreover, as has been referenced about, Alan subjected the state's case to adversarial testing by presenting evidence of inconsistencies between eyewitnesses' descriptions of Bridge Guy and Alan's appearances and between eyewitness descriptions of the car parked at the CPS building and Alan's focus. Expert testimony challenging the validity of the ballistics match, the length of time Alan was held in restricted housing, DOC policy and restricted housing, and its effects on mental health, expert and lay testimony regarding Alan's mental health at the time of the confessions. I'm really glad they're identifying it as lay testimony. And video evidence of Alan's behaviors around the time of the confessions and evidence that LG's phone data showed a headphone connection in the audio output during the evening of the 13th that was not explained by the state's theory of the crimes. Ooh. If those attacks fail to cause even one juror to have reasonable doubt, then this court can be confident that none of the comparatively insignificant pieces of excluded evidence complained about here would have made any difference to the verdict either. Do you want to cover the cell phone?
No.
Okay, I figured not. Because it's just more, it's the same bullshit that they set up in, what was it, page?
Motion or correct error.
What's up?
The motion or correct error. Can't wait
Yeah.
to do this part. All right, we're almost there.
All right, what page?
90.
The trial court properly denied Allen's motion to correct error. The trial court properly denied Allen's motion to correct error because the state did not knowingly present false testimony through Weber.
Lie.
In violation. Yep. A conviction obtained through the use of evidence that the state knows is false and does not attempt to correct violates a defendant's 14th Amendment due process rights.
Correct, it does. So I'm glad we acknowledge that, because that's exactly what the fuck this was.
So when Baldwin cross-examined Weber, then I don't know the law, but shouldn't the prosecution have struck the entire testimony?
Yep.
A conviction obtained through the use of evidence that the state knows is false and does not attempt to correct violates the defendant's 14th Amendment due process rights. To make a claim under what did DB say? Napao. The defendant must establish, I'm calling it Napao from right now, must establish that there was false testimony, the government knew or should have known it was false, and there's a reasonable likelihood that the false testimony affected the judgment of the fact finder. Allen failed to show that the state presented false testimony through Weber. Allen's argument is predicated on surveillance video he claims shows Weber's van arriving home at 2:44 p.m. But Allen did not present any verification that the date and timestamp on that video was accurate. It is common for timestamps on surveillance videos to be inaccurate by minutes or hours. For example, the Hoosier Harvest Store surveillance video was 54 minutes fast. Allen admitted that the camera's timestamp was inaccurate as it showed bright daylight when the timestamp indicated the middle of the night.
It's their fucking video.
The argument is just the AM PM though, right? Like it's not.
And everyone knows that. It's just the AM PM difference, period.
Yeah. And so they're saying that like that's your only argument to show that the video was off?
Well, they can't prove that the video when exactly.
Wait, what?
We can't prove when the video and the time. It doesn't make sense.
There's no basis to assume, as Allen does in his argument, that the only inaccuracy was a precise 12-hour difference or that it was 12 hours slow.
It's not his shit. It's their video. Like, it's not up to them to fucking prove that.
But also, like, I mean, they could say, okay, there's a 12-hour difference. We're talking about 2:44 p.m., not 2:44 a.m. And here's the fucking trajectional direction of the sun that is up right now, and that's why it's p.m.
But it also, like, literally, they say, well, the FBI is there's no foundation of the FBI ping. So
Isn't
just
it a document?
Yeah, don't pay attention to FBI ping because we just say so.
I don't know. Maybe. All right.
That's a crazy argument. I think they have something here. They have something here with this video. It's like, we know that video says 2:44, and we know that FBI pings at 2:50, but pretend that didn't happen. Basically.
Yeah.
Because we say so.
Right. Their argument is like.
There is no argument, really.
It's
prove that time is right. Prove it.
Yeah, they only proved the Hoosier Harvest Store time was right through like witness testimony.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no actual like other than provable. Like there wasn't like, hey, here's where an explosion was confirmed.
Right.
That happened down the street and it was caught on this camera. There's like nothing else to stamp that. Anyways, it is common for timestamps on surveillance videos to be inaccurate. Okay. Allen admitted the camera's timestamp was inaccurate. There's no basis to assume 12-hour difference. Absent verification of date and time and absent proof that the vehicle in the video is Weber's van, Allen cannot show that Weber's testimony that he drove straight home in his white van after clocking out of work at 2:02 p.m. was demonstrably false.
Actually, there's text messages that prove that it was. But anyway, okay.
Hey. Allen also offered no foundation to support the ping evidence of the FBI report. Without any evidence as to whether or when Weber had his cell phone turned on, the absence of a ping earlier does not prove he was not home. The absence of a ping earlier does not prove he was not home earlier. Allen did not show that Weber's testimony was demonstrably false in support of his.
He first connects to his home Wi-Fi at that time.
Yep.
It's not because they just decided, let's ping him right now.
Yeah. This will all be revealed in the RICO case against
in
Nicholas
the weeks,
McFreeland.
oncoming weeks, once we're done investigating Diener. Did you hear about Diener?
No. Well, we can DM. We can DM that. I want to know if what you know is what I know. That's what
Right.
All right.
Aww, Mar, I love you. Thank you.
Oh, hey. Hope you're well, Mar.
Sweetie. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, ADHD side note. ADHD side note. Do any of you cranks watch Yes Theory? No. What is that?
What is Yes Theory?
Oh, wait. Keep going. We gotta go. We got 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. The crux of Allen's claims that his Western testimony was false about his time of arrival home, that Allen's May 23rd confession of Walla was not credible, just wasn't anyways. This premise fails for two reasons. First, Weber did not testify to an exact time of arrival home, so Allen's evidence would not have shown that Weber's testimony is false, only at most inconsistent with the murder timeline. What? Okay, I'm going to think about that
Well,
one.
it's the information only a killer would know, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't line up right at the time, except we say that the girls died at 2:32.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Second, the credibility of Allen's confessions was challenged with a plethora of expert evidence. The jury, again, well, if Weber doesn't work, then the fucking ballistics will work, and if the ballistics don't work, then Betsy Blair will. You know what I'm going. The jury had ample evidence to evaluate not only Weber's credibility, but the credibility of Allen's confessions. Allen was not denied due process. The president of the jury said this court. This court should affirm the denial of Allen's motion to correct error. Conclusion: this court should affirm the trial court's judgment.
Theodore. Theodore's not a name. That's a mouse. That's a. What are they? It's a chipmunk. That's not a person.
Ellen, Jody, lots of Jodies.
Oh God, what is with the Jodies?
Lots of Jodies.
With the Indiana and the Jodies.
Well, it's all those German settlements.
I wonder if did Jody also retire with Judge Gull upon retirement?
I don't know.
She kind of already is on a forever vacation.
I imagine Christina Gold's going to take over and was like, "You're a good soldier, Jody. We're going to keep you on if you want.
Oh my God.
And if not, we'll replace you with Kathy Shank."
Oh, perfect. Dude, that little fucking demon. Little old lady is a fucking demon, allegedly.
Dude, there's so many of them. It's terrible.
Why is it that I feel, in my experience, in my opinion, you may not agree, and that's fine, that old ladies are cranky as fuck?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this like very carefully. I understand there are exceptions. We have a lot of good like older cranks, that are really cool.
Yes.
Like Granny G on Twitter. However, it is alarming to me the amount of people who went to high school in the 80s who are genuinely fucking terrible people right now. Like,
wait, is that that's Generation X? Or is it
I think it's like late stage Generation X, like early boomer.
Okay, because my dad is a boomer and he graduated like early 70s.
Yeah, my dad was like 83. He had me young though.
Uh-oh, is Bree
like both
still
my parents
in
had no other worldly business to being parents. What?
Is Bree still in here? She gets so mad about being Gen X and talking about Gen X.
I mean, Gen X is like, I don't know, it's like a diet boomer almost. You're just like, what the fuck are you? Where are you coming from?
We love Gen X, millennials and Gen X all the way.
Yeah, and again, there's like a couple boomers that I really.
Oh, we love, like, yeah.
I have a soft spot in my heart for them. But if you went to high school in the 80s, chances are I completely disagree with your entire worldview. Like the probability that you and I align on a lot is very slim. So I don't know what it is, but yeah, Kathy Skeletor Shank. Yikes.
Skeletor. Oh, well, I can't wait. So the defense ended up requesting extension and to have an oversized brief. Come to find out, they were granted the extension, but no comment on the oversized reply brief. So,
yeah,
hopefully that comes.
Logically, you have to think that like I don't know. I'm just gonna go, dude. Yeah, extension granted. Like this is a huge case. It was an investigation for 5+ years.
Gee, I'm shocked you would think, yeah, granted.
Let them duke it out. That or like, let's do these oral hearings and our oral arguments.
I would
like,
love.
Let's get on the floor and duke it out, dude. I'll bet you that's where Stacy really shines.
Dude, I personally think this deserves oral arguments.
Televised one, dude.
Televised oral.
This shit's been in the dark for way too long.
Oh, God. Thank you for joining me for this long excursion. You are such a fucking G and a friend.
We made it, man.
Scholar. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being in the chat. It's always so much fun. You guys are funny as fuck. I love you.
Yep.
Have the best night and have the best weekend and happy Easter if you celebrate it. If you don't, that's fucking cool too. Okay, love you. Bye.
See ya.